What happened?
Cause I got Twitch on, so I got like what do I have? I have oh yeah, I got WrestleMania like 9, I think. Like
Oh
somebody streaming.
shit!
So I'm like, it's recording video too, because it's made to record video. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, the video is recorded as WrestleMania 9 while we talk over it. It's like
Hey, I love it. I fucking love it.
yeah, wrestling's fucking crazy. I've been getting back into it. Not watching the new ones. Like I like hearing just the I like watching the old ones, and I like hearing the stories. For the new ones, I could kind of just take them only in YouTube clips, because there's a lot of, things are different. There's a lot of fuckery, and it's not really my
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, I tried. Like, I really. There's been times where I really, really try. I think just as an adult and with all the wrestlers you followed as a kid gone, I just have no interest. The girls are still hot. I mean, so that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
But
there's always a hot girl, but the yeah, there's a lot of. I listen to a lot of Jim Cornette, man, and that boy has a lot of dogma that he's attached to. I've never seen a man like, yo, if this was rap, that dude would need to travel with security guards. There's so much hate in his podcast. There's so much hate. Luckily, people don't kill people. There's no drive-throughs for like Vince McMahon sending out triple H's, like, yo, I need you to
right.
clap Jim Cornette for all the shit he talk. That don't happen in that culture. But I'm like,
Yeah.
there's such venom that this man spews, but he spews it with knowledge, so I can tolerate it. It's not just pure hate. But sometimes I'm like, yo, how does this man allow himself to watch wrestling? Because it sounds like he hates 95% of it. So it's just
Right?
so I'm like, because I tried to watch the new brand AEW, and I lasted 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, is this just I don't know, man. Like, I don't, maybe I'm watching it in the wrong time because it's COVID, so there's no audience and stuff. But I don't know, like the way it works. I'm like, look, man, maybe this works for the new generation, but I'm like, so what's funny? You said something about being older. When I was younger, the wrestling mattered to me more. That's why, like, my favorite thing, even though it's probably crazy to say, right? It's either crazy to say or you're trying to be niche, but really ECW, like, they pushed it like nobody else. The real one, not when they bought it,
Yeah.
like, but the real
Yeah, yeah.
ECW pushed it like no one else, the wrestling. And a lot of, for a lot of us, even if they were being influenced by Japan or whatever, like, that was the first time we saw some of that stuff. But if you look at like what's going on now, like, yeah, sometimes they're still pushing it here and there, but sometimes like they're so focused on pushing it that like there's either no story or they're kind of waiting for the setups, and you can tell they're waiting for the setups, maybe because we're older or whatever, but like it's so focused on, I need to do this triple backflip that like it ruins the match,
Yeah.
because it doesn't look natural. It's like, no, like the whole match is built around me hitting you the triple backflip on you or some crazy shit, and so yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. Like, but
Who was your
you
who
want me to
was
tell you
your
my three
wrestler back
favorite
in the day?
wrestlers? You want me to tell you my three
Yes.
favorite wrestlers?
Yes,
So
that's
yo,
what I need.
So, and here, this ties into what I maybe didn't get to finish saying about wrestling. Is like, so now as an older person, I appreciate the stories and the promos way more than I probably care about the wrestling. Probably bores me at this point because most people, to me, probably aren't pushing the game, or maybe I just see it the holes now, that maybe I couldn't see as a child. But the personality and stuff, there's still a talent to that, So my number one wrestler, right, is Shawn Michaels, right? However,
Hey.
two and three. So you know what's funny? Now as an older man, I'm like, did I like Shawn Michaels because he was the Heartbreak Kid and I couldn't get any girls, so maybe he did it for me? Like, I was like, because to be honest, that wasn't a part of the appeal. Like, to me, he was just fucking dope. Because he is fucking dope. But now, like, on some subconscious shit, I'm like, I wonder if that was it too. Not only was he dope, but he got the girls. At least that was his
Nah, it
character. You know,
It wasn't.
it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. But it is
I
funny.
got the girls in elementary school. I got the girls. I
Yeah.
can't get them now.
Yeah.
But I had all the girls in elementary school.
Hey man,
And
we all
I
have our
still
prime.
love-
I'm still waiting for it. You know, I'm still waiting for it. You know, I'm still waiting for it.
My prime was like 8 years old to about 14, and then
Yo, that's a
I
good
got
prime. Yo,
awkward.
your dick still work during that prime. My dick is like, you know, that shit. You know, yeah, it's not always there. You know what I mean? it's not, I'm like,
It wasn't in your prime back then, and now it's
no,
not
it was.
working
My dick was in
again.
its prime back then. I just had nobody to
No.
to hit with.
Yeah. You weren't in your prime, and now
Yeah.
your dick isn't in its prime.
Yeah, nah.
either.
Now I'm kind of like you know, like a pinch hitter. Like, yo, if it's the right time, the right spot, and all the scenarios, I'm gonna hit you a home run. But more than likely, you don't want me playing in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I can
The
tell you
stars
some
need to
things.
align.
I could tell you some stories, and that's probably what you want me on the bench. You know what I mean? You want me there to support you. You want me to be is it like the cuck, right? I can be that third person in the room. I could cheer on those people. Now,
You can
know?
cheer up. Yeah.
I could be like, yo, you go, you hit it from behind. That's what I'm talking about, you know, but you don't want me in the game. If I'm in the game,
Yeah.
you know, I might slow the pace down. All kinds of shit might happen. I might miss a few steps, you know, like sometimes I can't even pick up the stick. All kinds of crazy shit going on, you know? But yo, I got to give a shout out to my other two favorite wrestlers before we keep tangenting out. Because my other two, Shawn Michaels is probably number one because not only was he dope, not only did he push the game and not only did he push himself, but he's also in the Big Show. He's in WWE, so he got to do the story stuff and all of that. The other two...
WWF.
Yeah. That's my favorite Shawn Michaels, by the way. WWE asshole Shawn Michaels. Coked up, has no idea what he's going about. Literally banging Sonny. That's my favorite Shawn Michaels. I like the other one too, but the one that gives no fucks is my favorite Shawn Michaels. You know, and I know now post religion he regrets all that, but that's still my favorite Shawn Michaels. Like, yeah, I didn't screw Bret Hart. Wink, wink. You know, that's my favorite Shawn Michaels.
Hey, I got a story. I got a story about that after you finish your other two.
Yeah, so the other two are Sabu and Rob Van Dam, because those people are fucking murderers.
Interesting.
And Rob, because they pushed the game. Like this is especially for American wrestling.
ECW, I get it.
Yeah, no, and Rob Van Dam somehow, he was allowed to do a form of that in the normal wrestling, both in WWE. And the other one, TNA, and as he keeps traveling through the, let's call those fake indies, because it's not indie, but it's indies with with somebody paying attention. It's not like, so yeah, Rob Van Dam is what Sabu could never be, like a corporate player, because Sabu did also play in those worlds, but he would always get fired because he's that guy who doesn't want to be told what to do. Like, I can't smoke weed, fuck you, like that shit. Sab meant that about Sabu. Even though Rob Van Dam also got punished for weed smoking, Rob was always trying to play the game. Sabu was trying to break the game, He don't want to be told. But both of those guys pushed wrestling, and Rob was able to at least do it like with the big boys, Like, I literally just saw, I don't know if this channel is crazy. I don't know why it's not banned on Twitch yet, because I've seen other wrestling channels get banned, but this guy showed like every SummerSlam from like 88 to now. And when they got to the Rob Van Dam days, this motherfucker was doing the full ring, like chair, like Van Daminator, which I'm like, that's an illegal move, like in WWE. So I'm surprised they even let him do it. But like, I'm like, I'm surprised like this guy was able to bring just a smidge of the ECW to this mainstream world. Like, that's crazy, because Sabu probably had like 5 matches and no one will ever remember him in WWE, but like, the people who know are the people who know, suicidal, homicidal, genocidal. Sabu's a fucking lunatic. Sabu is what I wanted to be when I was young, just like, because you know what, and I still struggle with this to this day, like, just the feeling. I would love the feeling. I would love to be great at something, and even whether it's Sabu will probably never be recognized like these other people, but people who know, like, this motherfucker was great. This man changed wrestling in America, right? Because the tables really come from Japan and all that, the barbed wire, all that nonsense, and like for the 90s, he was the one ushering it in for ECW so that WWE could rip it off as the Attitude Era, like So like he still has his play
So,
in wrestling, but he'll probably never be recognized for it. But to still know that, yo, your peers know, like the comedian, that dude with the fro, you know that dude with the fro? He's a black dude. He's a comedian.
ooh,
He used to be he's still real weird, but let me see if Lord Google can help me. Hold on. He was on that guy's show. There's this white dude. Who's the white, like, British dude who took over for Craig Ferguson? He's his band.
oh yeah, that you talking about the chubby dude?
Yeah, took over for Craig Ferguson. Let me type took over for Craig Ferguson, see where that takes me.
He does those singers in the car and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Well, I don't know his name. It's been so long since I've watched
Singing
Late
in Car?
Night.
What is Singing in Car? I'm like, if I find that series, I could find the comedian.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Don't tell me Adele Carpool. I need to know who's singing in the fucking car. James Corden. All right, now I need to type James Corden Ben.
But you just dropped the bomb. So
Reggie Watts, by the way.
Reggie Watts.
So,
oh yeah. Okay,
he's
Reggie
famous
Watts.
now. But yo, Conan used to bring him on in the day, and he would always hype him up.
He's funny as fuck.
I never got Reggie Watts, but I respected the talent because he was dope. He was doing these things that didn't make me laugh, but like he was just real good with the sound effects and the music, and I was like, yo, there's talent here, but it's not for me. But at that time, before he popped, they used to always describe him, well, he's the comedian's comedian, because all the comedians get him. Sabu is definitely not the wrestler because, you know, he'll be remembered more for not the technical shit he could do, for the crazy shit. But people who know, like Terry Funk, all those motherfuckers who know, they know like Sabu is a G, you know? Like Sabu changed the world, you know? And Rob Van Dam was right there being like a more tolerable Sabu. If I want to be racist, if I want to bring race into the game, right, the white Sabu, right? So it's acceptable when the white man does it. But when this other dude does it, I don't even know if Sabu isn't white, but he's definitely tan skin. You know, he definitely, and you know, so we ain't messing with that shit. He's out here doing the chic stuff. Nah, hell no. You know?
Yeah, nah. This is MAGA country.
Yeah. But when Rob Van Dam does it, it's all good, right?
It's all good.
Yeah. Look, post JVCD, right? Post John Claude Van Damme and all that shit. You know?
Oh my god.
Yo, there was a second there. I thought they might be related because he really does got the face.
No, they do. They look very similar, and maybe that's why he chose his name. I mean,
probably. And he does that stupid kick, like, you know, to do the intro. I'm very disappointed in WWE that they didn't have a celebrity match of JCVD versus RVD. That would have been amazing. They should still do it. They're old. They're both old. It's equal match. It's equal match.
Even better. I'd watch that.
Just like Tyson and Roy Jones, we can still do it. They're both old, man. Hey,
they said they're going to do Tyson and Holyfield. But isn't Holyfield like 90 years old or something? He's going to die in the ring.
Yo, Tyson, that was a very boring match, but Tyson looked like he can box for sure.
He did.
He looks like the actual boxer now, you know?
Yeah, he looks, and he still kind of moves the same. I mean, obviously, he's not out
to murder people, but he's doing it.
Yeah, but he still has that like you know, that he's real like jittery. He was always like that, and he still looked the same. So I mean, that was pretty cool. But you did just say that you didn't think you were great at anything, so I was like, I had to ask.
No, so I didn't say that. And real quick, it says May 29th. Damn, yo, that's like 4 days post my birthday. Let's go. May 29th. I will be watching that illegally on Twitch because there'll be a bunch of people fake streaming.
You talking about the Tyson fight?
Tyson Holyfield. It says May 29th. Yeah.
It's that soon?
It says I'm going to be, Mike Tyson quote, I'm going to be successful May 29th. So I'm assuming. Unless it gets pushed back like it did, like the other one did. The other one got pushed back twice. No.
That means Holyfield stayed in shape. Because you would think someone who's older like that would have a hard time getting ready that quick. I don't know.
I haven't been following Holyfield, but he don't look like the dude that is interested in slacking off. You know, he looked like a dude who probably trained.
He doesn't remind me of that guy.
Yeah,
but still, I mean.
But
yeah, whatever.
I didn't. So I said I want to be like, I would love to be great at something. Like, I don't know if I necessarily said that I mean, you could argue that that statement means I'm not great at it, but what I mean great is like some like all time shit, some all time
Right.
shit. You know, like
Gotcha.
some like right now, like one of the things for the first time, I think I'm gonna buy like a program, like it's for like the ear. It's like ear music training, and I was like, yo, like I don't know, man. It's only like $100. And I like the dude is coming from. Like I feel like I learned a lot from him and shit. So it's just like, look, let me try it. Cause I don't know, man. I started making some. I took like 2 weeks off because you know the ups and downs of depression and shit. And yo,
Yeah.
I was on this guitar and I'm making stuff and yo, overall I ain't really like what I was making, you know. And that don't stop me before, but it just felt like, you know, it was just angering. Like yo, man, like it feels like there's a damn plateau here, and I don't know how to fucking break it. And it's like I see all these people doing it, whether they're older than me or younger than me. I'm like, yo, man, like there's something I want to do. I want to break this fucking wall down, yo. So it's just like I don't know. In
So
my head,
as a creative mind, because
yeah,
the thing is, I'm glad that you said this because I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
yeah.
Because when we talked, I told you for a while there, I was making like a song every single day,
I should live
and
stream this, by the way, because I can. Because I can. It's
if you want to, I mean, who's gonna tune into this? But
probably
anyway,
nobody, but why not?
yeah.
It's better than
So
watching Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund. That's what I have on right now. I'm sorry.
Razor.
Continue.
Oh, Razor. Yeah, no, because I'm glad you said this because I had that same feeling over the past few weeks now, and I'm going back and listening to all that stuff when I was making a song a day and doing all this stuff, and I'm just like, this is trash, and it's not quality and it's not good, and I felt like I was just doing it just to do it.
And that's
And
important too, like, because when you say that, because I know you won't release a certain thing right now. So, like, when I make, well, you know, I'm not one. I wouldn't. My thing was just mad. It's like, look, like that wouldn't stop me from releasing it, but my thing was more mad. Is like, why can I not do more? You know, because just because it's trash don't mean it shouldn't be released. By the way, you know, like
that's our huge difference in philosophy.
but there's reasons for that.
But
There's reasons, but I don't, that'll be a whole nother thing. So keep going.
So, well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to that creativity, and you feel like your plateau was a perfect word that you used. When you feel like you get to that point, what do you do, or what do you think is the best way to approach it? And like, keep in mind that I think a lot of people who are in our creative field, or just anybody who exists in that realm, normally deals with some sort of depression. Unfortunately, I feel like that's just something that,
That's just the norm, right?
yeah, I think that's something that we all deal with. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And it's riding that wave of when you catch it and everything just looks good and sounds good and you're in the right headspace, then everything starts to come out right. But how do you manage that wave, basically?
So the first part, I think that's a new feeling. Like the first part of how to overcome that. Like I think it was only now where I was just starting to feel that, where it was just like, man, yo, like this is trash. So I don't like this. Like because it just felt like
Right.
it felt like
No, that is new. That is new for you,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you would just do shit, don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about it, and just release it. I mean, that's who you were. So this is like, you saying this to me is like,
No,
what
and
the
I still
fuck?
feel that way. So my problem was my problem is like, so specifically with the guitar too. It was just like, I know I don't play this shit every day, you know, like so that's probably
Yeah.
one problem. But I mean, it's also like, you know, like just my whole concept of just music concepts, like all of it. It's like, yo, man, I have these ideas, and like then I start to make stuff, and none of that shit is coming from my head, you know. And like I'm like, well, part of this shit must be like my musical vocabulary, you know, like. I can think of stuff, but I just can't translate it, you know, like, cause like when it comes to guitar, like I can't. If I just let myself play, then my hands will just do wankery. That will be gibberish. I won't argue with that. Like it will be gibberish. But if I play from my head, it'll be better. But if I play from my head, that shit might take like, depending on what it is, like, you know, who knows? Like I gotta transcribe that shit from my head first. I gotta figure it out because I'm just not skilled enough like that to just think like whatever melody I'm thinking, like, oh, that's an E minor, whatever the fuck, play it immediately, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, man, just some of that shit was frustrating, and I'm just seeing, man, I stumbled onto these young kids too, like, by young kids, I just mean like maybe the younger guitar players who I've never heard of this week. I'm like, yo, man, these people, you know, comparison is bad, but it wasn't so much the success they having because guitar isn't the sexiest thing, you know. So they have their followings, but they ain't, you know, they're different numbers compared to the normal world, the hip hop world we in right now. But it was just seeing that, and it's just like, yo, man, like they doing crazy shit, and they still pushing the guitar, and it's just like, yo, I ain't trying, yo. And it just made me think, like, you know what, like, I'm probably just not learning correctly, and I gotta like maybe learn differently. I gotta try a different concept to learning. You know what I mean? So that's why I was more open to like this program, because I was like, you know what, man, like I'm big on trying things yourself, but I've been trying this for a minute, and you know, maybe it got me to a certain place, but now maybe I need to try something else, you know? And that's it. When it comes to the OG argument of like put everything out, is because you know, and you're a slightly different case because, you know, maybe music is not your end goal, right? Because it's not. You know, clearly it's not, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But I have this argument with people who clearly maybe it is a more important thing, and then they still don't, you know, and it's like, who releases more, you or them? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's about the same, you know, like the output is nothing, you know? And so with those people, I'm like, you are finishing songs, just put it out, because what might be trash to you might be dope to another, you know, and you never know what people are gonna like, you know. There's too many stories from both non-famous people and famous people where like, yeah, the you know, song 8 was the one that they felt and the people made it the single, and vice versa, you know. Versus, even though I thought song 3 was the shit, so I put it out and no one gave a fuck, you know. Like, so
yeah,
that's why I'm a big fan of putting everything, like, if it's finished. But with me, I'm just not happy like with my skill set, and it's just not satisfying me, you know. Like, I could go on some deeper shit. Like, I question all the time, like, I don't know if I even like music, you know. like so I could go on that if like I'd be wondering if I should even. Sometimes I wonder, like, yo, man, am I just carrying on the habits that I know? Because I'm doing music because Abraham does music, because that's what Abraham does. So let's just keep on doing music, you know. Like, but it's like, does the Abraham now even like this shit, you know?
Right.
And here's this other revelation. And then I'll let you go. Tiger Woods documentary on HBO. Have you caught it at all, or heard anything about it or anything?
No. I mean, I heard about it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Some crazy shit. Some hypocritical shit, of course, you know, like, because Michael Jordan and friends are in there, and it's always interesting to see. I don't know. Like, Michael Jordan's always a weird one, even though I love the dude, but definitely got some, you know. Anyway,
some mental issues.
Well, definitely. Right, we all got those, but like, I don't know. He definitely got It do seem like he treat, like, you know, a certain hypocriticism to like the way he treat like certain other black people, because they're from the hip hop community and other stuff, you know. So it just reminded me of that version of Michael. Like, yo, go Google like a rapper story involved in them meeting Michael Jordan, and it's always like, yo, he called them the N-word and all kinds of crazy shit, and it's like, because he feels like they're doing it the wrong way, and they're making black people look bad, you know. So
do you think? I mean, I think about it. Like, we don't realize that Michael Jordan's pretty old. I think that's one thing.
These are takes that Oprah and all of them have had. You know what I mean?
Right. They come from a different generation.
Yeah,
right?
And
it's I've come to just not even try to talk or even try to label another generation into the way that we think. I don't even try to approach it that way, because it's just different, and it's never going to be this. They're going to die off with a completely different mindset than we had because we came up differently than them. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Also, he's from the South. He's from where I'm at. I mean, I'm in the Carolinas right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's from over here,
Yeah,
like
nah,
there's a
we
different type of
claiming him as
mindset here.
I know he was like born in New York. I'm claiming his
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if he
no,
don't,
no.
even though he
This
don't
is
care.
Carolina. Yeah, no, this is Carolina, bro.
He was born in New York. He wasn't born in New York. I bet you he ain't good. I bet you. We had him for like 1 month, like or whatever it was. We had him.
Yeah, that's what made him. That's what made him.
Yeah, man, it's the spark. It's the spark.
But yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I know exactly what you're saying. It's kind of the gripe that everyone within the black community has always had that gripe about him. You know what I mean?
It was
About
just
that.
so I forgot what exactly they did, because the things that maybe like make me angry or things I don't like when I see them in media now, I find myself letting them go quite easily now. So I don't always have them memorized. But I think like Tiger, like it was just some weird stuff where he was like kind of point like just like I don't know, it was just the way they would treat Vegas. I'd have to see it again, and honestly it's almost like a side tangent to where I was going with this anyway. But I'm gonna get back to the Tiger Woods thing, and that like basically his dad died, and you know his dad plays an important part, right, in his come up. Yeah, so his dad dies, and he ends up training with the Navy SEALs. He ends up training with the Navy SEALs in the mountains. Which I also thought was funny, because at the end when they start talking about Tiger Woods' back problems, and they like, yeah, it's gonna happen because if you're swinging that much, you're gonna have back problems. And I was like, maybe, but if you're training with the Navy SEALs doing this, and they were showing these pictures, and he's doing some hardcore shit, like most of those people had to earn that shit. I mean, like, and I'm not even saying like what gives them the right. It's more like, yo, man, like I don't know if he did the training to earn the right to be doing crazy Navy SEAL training. Like it sounds like you pushing your body, which is probably the whole point of going there. But I'm just saying, I feel like carrying heavy logs might have also been responsible in breaking your back, and maybe not golf, maybe not the hardcore game that is golf.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, is it like Phil like still golfing? He's way older than him, and just.
Yeah, how many Navy SEAL camps did he attend?
Right?
If you don't be hopping on logs and roping it up, But so the whole point of that was he did it because his father was a Green Beret, and that was kind of maybe him getting closer to his father, right? And then I bring up Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan in there, he quits. He retires basketball the first time, 94, right? And he ends up playing baseball, right? And that summer, his dad dies. Yeah, but that was also his dad's kind of dream for him, and vice versa, dream for him as well to play baseball. So I'm like, yo, this guy ends up playing baseball because his dad, and connects with him because his dad, And I was looking at me in music, and I was like, yo, I learned guitar like right before my dad died, right? But I only played guitar. But I was like, yo, I didn't make any beats. I didn't make any music. I didn't play any live shows because I didn't make songs yet. I was like, all I did was play guitar. But then all this other shit, I was like, that happened post my dad died. I didn't realize that till I saw the Tiger Woods thing. And I was like, yo, I wonder the reason why I'm never happy with any of this shit. And the same way I keep trying, spent maybe way too much effort in the wrong direction trying to get girls like we're also musicians from that scene and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, man, am I just kind of... That's why I'm never happy there, because I'm trying to find my dad, and none of those things are ever going to be my dad,
Right.
And I was like, man, like, that's crazy, because, I didn't make my first songs or anything, or play shows or anything till after he died. So I was like, that's interesting. Like, I wonder if just the whole thing is just me trying to reconnect with him in some weird way,
It definitely could be.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually really good connection you made there. That was... It took us like 85 minutes to get there.
That's what we do. Yo, my homie Duke dropped in here. My homie, this is the.
Oh shit.
Yo, I got a question though. That's the reason I don't feel was.
You interrupt my friend's podcast for for a question. He don't know how to record, so I'm recording it for him. This is how fucked up it is. The whole thing's fucked up. What's up? What's up?
Yo, on NFT, rare. Yeah, because I'm setting up right now. I'm setting up right now. So, so I do it. Well, I did the scanning on my phone.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to know if they do they make you set up an account with Rare Boost, or you could just scan it on your phone and it goes straight to your wallet.
Yo, so I haven't really done any of the Rarible thing. You might have to ask Phil about that. All the research, because I've been kind of investigating more to make them for me. So that's led me more to the path of OpenSea. So I've been learning OpenSea. I haven't really been looking at Rarible at all.
Yeah, OpenSea, it seems like you have to create an account with them, and then you apply your wallet. On Rare Boost, it just looks like you just apply your wallet, and your wallet does the show for you.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be some YouTube tutorial shit, because I don't know yet. I haven't fucked with Rarible at all yet.
But because I was just so confused. All I did was scan the shit, and then all of a sudden, now I could just upload. I'm like, I just scanned it with my phone, and I could upload. I just want to make sure I don't want to put shit to it, and then it's not going to my wallet. I don't want to fuck that package up. But
make sure though, because you don't want to do nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But all the stories that I've been seeing, everybody keeps making if they making shit, they keep making it on OpenSea. So I figured I would just join up there too. But I don't know. But I know Rarible is popular too. So
OpenSea, yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. You trying to make some, or you just trying to trade it?
Well, I'm just doing it for Victor. Me and Victor's going, because Victor do a lot of.
Oh, you told me you was gonna hustle his art. Now you're gonna get 100% of his art.
Nah, we gonna break. It's a business, man. We gonna break bread. We gonna work some shit up.
Yeah. We can all get 100. I got you.
But my bad for interrupting me.
Nah, you good.
I just saw you the Discord.
You good. That's why I do that. That's why I do it here though, because it is cool when people come through. It's cool. That's on you if you want to stay, but yeah, we doing his podcast though. That's
I might jump back in.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with this shit. See if we... I might jump back in. This is dope.
Do your thing.
I bet. One.
All right.
All right.
Oh man.
That's the cool thing about like the servers, because anybody could come in. That's why I like doing them like this, because it's like motherfuckers just pop in and shit. I think that's just dope. Yeah, it's like Kramer on Seinfeld. It's like Kramer.
Yeah, right. He just comes to the door.
Yeah, like yo, and then he look at you weird, like, why are you staring at me?
Why you here?
You should have locked your door. You should have locked your door.
Okay. So,
I don't even remember what we was talking about. Oh, the father thing in music, that maybe some shit like that.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say because my dad didn't have any musical talent. My dad was the sports guy, all state quarterback, all that stuff, and now he's a fat drunk that's probably gonna die soon.
Yeah.
But I really like that. I really like that whole entire thing that you just said based off of that freaking Tiger Woods.
That's
HBO
the way I
special.
watch media now, yo. Like I know, like, cause honestly, if you looking for something and you know, you like, yo, you can. I'll ask questions, yo. I'll be watching anime and yeah, there might be a giant penis ass snake who knows what it's trying to do. But yo, like honestly, like if you looking for the answers, you'd be like, yo, man, I wonder, that snake reminds me of the time when I was a snake and I stole some shit, and like, why'd I do that? You know what I mean? like so you know.
So I'm glad that you're living in that vein, because there's a lot of people that
real quick,
hang out with that don't really
like the
live
internet
in that vein.
is getting like shaky, so you're not sounding bad, but it's just breaking up a little bit more.
Oh, my bad. I walked away from my phone. Is that better?
Yeah, like your voice didn't get bad, but it was just getting worse and worse, like almost the connection.
Yeah,
you know?
no. I had my headphones in and I walked away from the phone.
Gotcha.
So people, a lot of my friends don't exist in that vein of just like understanding media, and and how you're supposed how I feel you're supposed to take it in. Like it's that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Everything that I watch or listen to or read or something like that, there's an introspection that I have just as I'm taking it in is how does this relate to my life, because it makes every story, it makes every song, movie so much better when you can relate to it and you can see the human behaviors and you can see the psychology behind the creator's mind, basically. And I love that. I do. I fucking love you. You keep bringing up all these subjects that I've totally been on lately, and thinking about and pondering. But maybe because I have too much time to think and ponder in my life right now. But yes, that's exactly how you're supposed to take it in. How you're
But you
supposed
see,
to
I
relate
only
to them
got to
and
that
put it into your life.
because, like, you know, like the last couple of years, I was looking for answers, you know, so then I start to just like maybe translate the world that way.
Do you think
know?
there's people that just don't even who have just stopped looking for answers?
So, you know, like I hate to use like the Matrix metaphor, right? The ever popular one, but you know, like they might not even know. They might not even be aware of other paths to even want to look for answers. So, did they stop, or have they never even tried? You know, because they don't even know that that's an option. You know.
So are they blessed and we are cursed?
Both. Because honestly, it all depends for both sides. It both depends what they're doing. They might literally be the happiness thing, right? They might be living their happiest lives, right? Because in the instance that happiness, right? Ignorance is bliss. That's the thing. So right. Honestly, they might not know, but honestly, everything might be going just fine and dandy. And to learn more might actually make things worse. You know,
make their lives worse.
And the same thing for us, like, we might stumble onto like a bunch of pain, but by doing this, hopefully, you know, like eventually we do find whatever these paths are to our own true happiness, because those paths weren't working for us, you know. Like right. For me, the only reason I started all of this, because, you know, like, to take it to our favorite topic, right? Like, unbeknownst to me, right, I was literally just trying to make like every girl I would obsess over like my full life purpose, you know?
Yo, holy shit, dude. Yes. Yeah. Yes, and that's what it comes down to.
I didn't know I was doing that. I didn't know I was doing that till maybe like the last one, and now it's affect like the not that scenario not happening. The fuck? I can't. That's my sister, but that's the other one. I was like, man, she calling at night. That never happens. Maybe I should take it, right? Maybe I'm a bad family member now. But normally it's probably for like a conversation, so I'm doing that one right now. But I'll get her back. But what was I saying? Yeah, but and you know what's funny? She has the same name as the girl I was crazy over. Speak of the devil, and she.
Oh my god! Right? And she. Because the devil is definitely a woman.
Hey, maybe. I mean, someone told that to Netflix's Lucifer, right? Told that.
Oh goodness.
But yo, that show, if you want to talk about interpreting metaphors, that show is a very powerful show, even though it's using stereotype. I don't know if sitcom is the word.
It really?
It is a very powerful show.
Is it really?
But
it's one of those shows I looked at like I'm not fucking
the same thing. But you know what? I was depressed and I was so desperate, and one of my coping mechanisms is eating food while watching shit, and I was like, fuck it, let me give it a try. It is based on DC, even if they got it horribly wrong, right? You know, so I watched it, and there's a lot of cheesy shit, but honestly, you know why it's perfect for us, yo? Because, it's the motherfucking devil, right? It's the motherfucking devil. And at the end of the day... That's why it's
perfect for us?
No, because check it. Just like, right, he has his gifts and whatever, right? But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, he too just wants love. And he too just wants that girl and the one.
Oh,
it's the same shit.
Okay.
That's why it's perfect for us. That's why.
Okay.
But you know what's maybe one of the most powerful...
Have to get some ice cream.
Yeah, no, for real. You should see the notes because I take notes and shit. I have like journals for each show, you know. So I'll take notes, and the notes probably super powerful for Lucifer. But one of the most powerful metaphors that I can remember without having to look at any of those is their description of hell is, like, I don't know, someone's accusing him being a devil and being in hell. He's like, look, man, like, I just manage the place. Like, I don't do nothing wrong. Like, there's actually no doors, right? There's no, I'm not keeping anybody there. But the problem is, what keeps everybody in hell is their own guilt. And so they keep, like, hell in the world of Lucifer is the guilt of whatever sins or whatever wrong they did, and they keep replaying this scenario again and again and again. But he's like, look, man, you can leave whenever you want. You know, like, I'm not keeping anybody here, but the problem is their guilt won't allow them to, you know? And I thought that was a real powerful, like, metaphor for, like, you know, how we maybe create our own hell at times, depending on the life we live, you know? So, yeah.
That is interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So now that the intro of the show is over.
I didn't even say who I am, and then probably don't even matter, right? We just
So let me segue into where the hell I've been, and I'll start that with Homeboy, who is your favorite wrestler. I said earlier that I would use that to speak on. So Shawn Michaels, actually, believe it or not, another reason why he was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is he was a member of my church. Yeah.
And you know, I liked him in New York, so just to be out here and have him find out he's from here, that was a trip, you know?
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was.
Pretty cool. So I'm talking, and I'm not just saying, like, you know, when he went on his hiatus and he wasn't there for a really long time.
Yeah.
He was a active member. Every single Sunday he was sitting front row. He was dating, like, she was one of the Nitro girls, or married. Not dating. He was married to her.
Yeah.
From WCW, one of the Nitro girls. And they were in the front row every single week. You know, I shook his hand. I talked to him several times. So that was pretty cool. But here's the thing. So I grew up in the church and all of this stuff. And I ended up recently, obviously I haven't been in the church for a very long time. And recently I ended up talking to this girl, and me and her were getting kind of serious. I mean, I wouldn't say getting kind of serious, but just talking, and everything was going really well. And she was super Christian, and it made me start to reevaluate my whole entire life. And I was really struggling with it about the whole mindset of Christianity and God, and who I need to be the proper Christian that they say that you're supposed to be. And that it made me second guess everything, like my music, my podcast, my friends, my this and my that, and everything. And
real quick, you only have one episode of the podcast out, right? And you're already second guessing?
Nah, there's 3 episodes of the podcast out already.
Oh, dude, I don't check Spotify. I'm gonna be honest with
you. They're on all the other platforms. So
I don't check any. But you know what platform it's not on? It's not on YouTube, is it?
No.
That's why I hear all my podcasts. I shit you not. Like, I use Spotify primarily to
That sounds like a horrible platform for
it is, but they all happen to have videos, so they, like, that's why I use them kind of. So if I only need the audio, I can do that, but if I'm in a situation where I can have the video, then I can look at them, even though all they're doing is sitting there, right? Nothing fancy, you know, like but I like having the video. So that's why when Rogan left, like, honestly, I've probably only heard like 2 episodes post Rogan leaving, and And every time I do, I'm like, this is the last one because I hate the Spotify UI. Especially for him, it fucks it up even worse. For normal people, it's not bad. Like you, like since yours is just audio, it's not too terrible. But it's terrible for his. It just takes up so many system resources, and then the ads. And I'm like, nope. Yeah, no, I hate Spotify for podcasts, so that's why. You ever get it on YouTube? I'll probably be a little bit way more attentive than I am right now. Let me try to find yours. I'm like, I can't even find the podcast section right now. I'm in the Spotify desktop app. This should be the easiest one. Here it is. It says podcast. Let's see where we're going. Where's Nomad and Exodus? Let's go. Shit can't even load. Gosh. We'll keep talking because I don't know when yours is gonna load up.
So I mean, I was pretty much done, man. I was struggling with that. And then, so this girl, basically what happens is she ends up finding me on Instagram, like via stalking. And she saw those, I don't know if you've seen my Instagram lately. There's a bunch of...
it's another thing I ignore, all social media.
Videos I posted up.
If I click or comment on your story,
1 minute videos.
If I click or comment on your story, it's because it's just someone DM'd me and I see your name and I click on it. But I purposely try to not open the app unless somebody DM'd me. So
gotcha.
But anyway, they're not good for me, dude.
I've been posting. I've been posting up these little music videos, and I think she clicked in, saw those, and was like, yo, this dude isn't a Christian at all. And that kind of ended the everything. And she just left me like in ruins, like they all do, trying to,
the ghost,
just struggling with my own shit.
She gave you the ghost?
No, she didn't give me the ghost. She straight up told me.
Oh, man.
It's like, like you're not a Christian and all this stuff. And that really, really fucked with me.
Real quick, what were you posting?
So anyone listening to this, go to Blade Moses on Instagram.
I guess I could do that. I could do that right now.
Yeah,
let's do that.
But yeah, so no, I've been posting up these 1 minute videos of song clips over.
So is this in your story videos. Or is this in your?
No, it's on my actual page.
Okay.
That's all I've been.
Inventhelp.com. What's that?
The fuck is that?
I'm reading your story though. Is this like a suicide prevention thing or inventors for free information for inventors? That's on your story.
What the fuck are you?
You have the vineyard.
That is not on my story.
Yes, it is. Southern night day dry. You were drinking some Hyman Vineyard or some shit.
Yeah, bro.
But right behind the picture is whatever I just read.
Some advertisements. Oh, you were reading what's behind. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I thought maybe that was like a play. I feel dead doing songs with legends. It's not every day you meet an angel. Forgive me. Wait, where's the stuff that got you banned though? That's probably not it.
So if you look,
is it the girl with the cig?
The girl with the cig. Yeah, that's the song that did it.
Oh, and then you're rapping too?
Yeah.
You cursing? She probably didn't like that.
She probably didn't like that line.
Damn. So you know what? You know what? At the risk of sounding all like therapist style, so like the way you do rap, it can be quite similar to me in that they're essentially our journals. So by her turning on you with this song in particular, this is an experience in your life. It's almost like a true rejection of you. You know what I mean?
So okay, yes. I'm glad we have fucking therapist Abe on the fucking show today. So after what's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks of just contemplation of all of this, that's exactly what I thought. It was, how do you pass this judgment on me without asking me questions about it, without not even knowing how old it is? I mean, you saw when it was posted, but you don't know when the song was made. You don't know anything about it. And I don't think people understand the creative mind to that certain point. When I make music, It is absolutely raw emotion, and what I am feeling in that exact moment. And some of it, when you're being creative, a lot of it is fiction based off of experiences that you've had. So you fabricate a lot of stuff, or at least I do in my creative moment. You fabricate some stuff to create the song, to finish the song, to make the writing more powerful. And that's how the creative mind works. But to try to sit there and explain that to somebody would be impossible.
I
So,
mean, it is possible, but maybe not to that person.
yeah, you got to pick and choose your battles, I guess. Anyway, so me and that girl are clearly not going to get married and start a life together. So it is what it is. I had to go through my little ups and downs, and I had to come out on the other side of it and just learn what I could from the situation. I think that's the best. That's the most we can do with every situation that we're given.
So you
And
know,
here we are.
you know what's interesting with that? Like, this is something I think you would always hear growing up. At least I did, right? Be yourself, right? For the girls or whatever, or maybe for everybody, right? But like, so it does hurt to get rejected in that way, but in the long term, right? It should be a good thing because it seemed like this person really don't like us, right? Right? Like,
Right.
and in theory, right, the person who does like that should like the real you, right? And now you don't even gotta wear the mask or whatever, you know, play the character for whatever the girl is you're trying to get, you know?
Right. And that's what you have. What I realized I have to do is just be myself 100% all of the time, and not worry so much about it, about what people think or what people say, because I'm going to attract the people that are supposed to be in my
The
life.
long-term
And the
play.
people,
Yeah.
yes, and the people that don't like it, those people weren't supposed to be in my life anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what you were saying about
Taking me
music and
forever to
the
get there, by
argument
the
that we
way,
always
you know?
have. Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough, man. It's this craving for acceptance, and
Yeah.
you just, man, it's hard. It's really hard, but I am actually really, I think, doing well with it over this past week, and just like accepting it and just like, man, I'm just gonna fucking be me. Because at a point I was that. I was the person that got on like Facebook and just said the craziest shit, didn't give a fuck what anyone thought. I used to be that person.
Mm.
And then I got older and I started thinking about like, oh, who is this going to offend, and all of this shit. And man, I don't know, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
But here we are. We are here, and
it might be the
I
most
wanted
boring sport, but baseball might be the most realist lesson, right? It's the long term. It's the long.
It's the long term.
Yeah, 162 games in a season. You know, like, if you know 30%, you're a god, right? It's just all failure. You know, like
Right.
it's probably the
Yeah.
best life lesson you can get is to be forced to play baseball.
Fuck, dude, for real. Holy shit.
It's just a life of failure. If you're a pitcher, it might seem like you're winning, but you're gonna lose your arm in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because they have
Your
a 70%
elbow's
win rate, you
Yeah.
know, but they're gonna lose their arm, so they're just, you know, they're just the young, pretty person, I guess.
Fuck, man.
Baseball's the realest game, dude. A lifetime of failure,
Yeah,
you know,
no, fuck
but
it, for
successful.
real,
But successful.
dude. I mean, that is kind of a great metaphor, because if you think about it, someone who bats 350
You a
is
god. You a god.
You're a god. You're a god. And think about that. So like
Everybody else,
in
everybody
life,
else is everybody ever who played is under 400 except for that Boston dude who escapes me. You know, like, right?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
No, there's a. I mean, I guess there's probably several people over 400, but you know they have some maybe I don't want to say cheat statistics, but they're like maybe 2 OG, so maybe
Right.
they played. But there's a Boston guy from the Red Sox who I think played long enough. Like he batted over 400. Everybody else though, everybody else is under 400.
Yeah. But think about that. In life, you really just have to get it right 30% of the time.
Yeah.
And if you make 30% really good decisions, your life is probably doing pretty good right now.
Mm.
So you're right, man. Baseball is the fucking metaphor for life, man.
Ted Williams was the guy I was thinking of, by the way. He's the last one to do it in 1941.
Jeez.
Everybody else is before him. This is why I was saying, like, there's other people besides Ted Williams, but
that's why I think baseball has that huge fucking drop off just because it's been around so long. I just don't think that those dudes could hang with the baseball players nowadays. With those pitchers with their weird hats and they got those weird windups, and it's like, of course you're hitting it every time you go up because the guy throws it like 70 miles per hour max.
Most sports, if you time travel
most
people,
sports have that.
No, I'm just saying, if you time travel people, more than likely they probably can't hang. However, I like to give the benefit of the doubt in that those people would just use the same training techniques we're using today. So they should be able to compete. They just probably can't hang as is. You know what I mean? So, like, you can't just pluck them out of time and expect some magic to happen.
Right.
But at the same time, we never know. Wilt Chamberlain might just drop 100. Like, yo, everybody sucks. Everybody.
He might, but I highly fucking doubt it because he was playing against like 5'5" white dudes, and I just don't think so.
I think that dude averaged a triple-double one season too. Or some shit. I think he averaged there was a year he definitely averaged way more than 10 assists.
Yeah, see,
there was a year he averaged 50 points a season, I think.
That shit wasn't fair, dude. That's not fair. That's just dumb.
Yo, but honestly, isn't there like a year where even, Lord Michael Jordan himself, his airness, isn't there a year where he averaged like 38, 39, So like even though it wasn't prime for winning, yo, that 85 through 90 Michael Jordan is a demon. He's maybe not the guy you want if you want to win a title, but he is a demon,
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I mean, who knows? Like, if the right person came around, like, they still might be able to do it crazy. And I don't follow basketball right now, yo, but my friend, he still does, and he shows me the numbers. They kind of look like almost the 80s again. There's too many people getting too many crazy numbers, and I asked him and I don't know, he gives me varying answers, but I'm like, yo, do you think the skill level got better, or the rules just keep getting loosened and loosened for the offense, And I don't know.
I think that is a huge problem with every sport right now.
Football did it recently, right?
Football, basketball, baseball. I mean, baseball right now is just, it's either home run or bust. And it's just like, dude, can we get some fucking people on base and actually enjoy this game? Because it's just, you either strike out or you hit a home run.
It's kind of disrespectful to defense, right? The way we fuck up the rules. It's like, oh man, look, people got good at defense. Let's just change the rules again, yo.
Let's just change it up.
I mean, shout out to Mayweather. I wouldn't come back. I'm gonna keep fighting YouTubers, yo. They don't give me money. You know what I mean? like 50-0. 50-0.
That's why he doesn't get the respect he is, because people do not respect defense for some reason. It's just like,
and when he was crazy when he was more offense, let's say, when he was more offensive and when he would knock out people, he wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah.
So no one saw it. So no one saw it. You had to be a boxing fan to really see it. So.
Right. Man, dude, I hated when people talk shit about him back when he was still like active, because it was just like, dude, we are watching greatness and y'all don't even understand it.
He's a
people
real good
just don't
wrestler.
understand.
Like he does the promo really well.
Exactly. And
He's
then people watch it and they're just like, this is bullshit. And it's like, this isn't bullshit. He's fucking amazing. Look at how quick he is. Look at
he's a
how
heel
fast he
boxer.
is.
He's a heel boxer.
Yes.
The only thing
Yeah.
missing was like the sledgehammer from Triple H. That was it. He never whipped that out, you know?
Yeah, he never fucking pulled it out, man.
Didn't the Puerto Rican guy, wasn't there a Puerto Rican boxer who had bricks in his gloves at some point? Am I tripping on that?
What? Bricks in his gloves.
Yeah. Like, I think he was like one of the last, like, I remember because he was Puerto Rican, so he came across my attention. Like,
That fought Mayweather?
No, I don't know if he fought Mayweather with it, but there was a Puerto
man.
Rican. This got to be close to 10 years ago. I'm going to type that. Puerto Rican boxer or like bricks and gloves or some shit. I feel like he did that. There was some boxer who did that recently. I swear, yo, I'm just saying, like something like if it's not bricks, they put some type of rocks or something, you know?
I mean, I know that there was like boxers every now and then that would put some like put some something in their gloves. I mean, I remember that story.
Oh,
Like,
wasn't it? It was plaster, not bricks. Still,
plaster. There you go, plaster. Yeah. Because I think like brick sounds way too crazy.
it was Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Okay, gotcha.
In a rematch with yeah. Oh wait, no. Oh, prior to that, it was Cotto Margarito. That's who it was. I guess that was the last one. Then it goes back in time more. But yeah, it was Cotto Margarito, I guess.
Gotcha.
And I guess Margarito's gloves were loaded with plaster. So like it says that's what. But I don't know. That's wrestling too. To be fair,
For real, right? For real.
But yeah, that's why like now at this point, like I kind of understand. It does suck that to have to do the wrestling gimmicks in real life, but because it would be nice if you could have to fight. And I feel like I don't follow UFC currently because like a lot of things, right? When they become maybe too big, I don't like what they become. You know, like
yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
So like it's probably gonna take like the right fighter to make me watch again. But yeah, like like damn, there was this one white dude who used to always talk trash, even when he knew he was gonna lose. Like, but then you see him talk now, and he seems like mad civil. You know what I mean? like and it's just like, like honestly, it seems like had he not done that, he might have gotten fired. Because he probably wasn't the best. He had his moments, but he just probably wasn't the best draw. And the UFC maybe even more than boxing sometimes because they don't pay as much. If you don't draw, like they have no problem getting rid of you.
Yeah.
So talk trash. Yo, I think there's a guy from my era when I used to watch Pride. I think it's Gilbert Melendez. I think I could be wrong, but I was surprised that he still fought. I was like, damn, this guy been fighting forever. Like, how old must he be? Like, he must have been 18 when I was watching him. And then. But I think he was popping in the UFC because I think apparently he was close to getting fired, so he kind of went balls out in this match where he thought he might have gotten fired, and he started just talking so much shit, and it went over, and now he kind of also is this shit talker, and I think when people on Rogan talk about him, it's like, yeah, he's kind of actually a really good dude, but he knows that sells tickets, so he keeps doing it.
Yeah, you have to play that role.
And I'm like, man, if you're having fun with it, that's cool, but it's also kind of sad. Like, if it's not something you don't want to do, like, why can't you just beat everybody, Why
Right.
does
Why
Lyoto
can't you just
Machida have to
empty
go
yourself?
13-0 so he can get 13-0? I remember he had to go 13-0, and 2 people had to get injured before the title shot so that he can go get a title shot. It's like, why? Why does Brock Lesnar get to have a win streak of 1?
Yeah.
Like, to get a title shot with a record of 1-1, you get a title shot. Like, really? Like, I know why, but it's just kind of sad,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So on the subject of Nomad and Exodus, why don't you tell me about your?
So it loaded, by the way, and I was gonna ask the Nomad and Exodus. Living in a Semi Truck and Visiting Louisville with Rob. How are those shows?
So visiting Louisville is funny as shit. You don't see the Five Hobby podcast on there?
Yeah, I read that one already, but I know that
Oh,
one because
okay.
I heard that one already. I heard that whole thing already.
Oh, okay.
I like hearing about that because it was
Yeah.
just it
So
was like to me that's the full circle. Like it's just like crazy. Like I told you about it, you actually did it, unlike me, and now you out here putting game out. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It was my very first podcast, y'all.
Yeah, that's dope. That was a dope one.
Yeah. So I just broke down living in a semi, and then visiting Louisville with Rob is a really really funny episode. So, but yeah, no. But on that subject, why don't you tell me about your trip that you did years ago?
Oh, the 2016 drive.
Where you just fucking took off and everywhere you went, like what it was about. I mean,
looking back at it now, it's crazy because these things are. I just have a lot more awareness now. So looking back at it, some of it, December 2015, I got fired from my job, and that was crazy. It was I don't remember the exact details anymore, but they said I was clocking in remotely, right? And they said I clocked in some crazy amount. It was like 200 and something times. And I was like, yo, I only work 4 days a week. I was like, so like if you did the math based on like what they were accusing me of, like I'm literally clocking in more than legally even allowed. Like I would literally, you need to be paying me overtime, like some crazy shit. Like I'm clocking in on my days off. I was like, are you even, I don't even work 5 days. What is wrong with you people, you know? But honestly, I remember that moment happened. I was so nervous and stuff. And they spring that shit up on you, but I did a few rebuttals. And they were almost ready to give up. But you know what they even told me? And this is what I'm saying. Like, why can't people just be honest, even in the corporate world? They told me, like, look, man, it don't matter if you're right. We still letting you go. And I was like, but if I'm right, why are you letting me go? But like once I heard that, then I just kind of gave up. I didn't even start battling. And I was like, because clearly you just want to let me go for reasons you won't even tell me, I guess, because this ain't even real, you know? Like,
yeah.
But I remember being super scared. But I was on unemployment, and you know, I'm being very like chill and lackadaisical. And you fast forward to the summertime, and I always wanted to go to Evo, and Evo just got bought out by Sony, by the way. It's a whole story in itself. But Evo is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world in Las Vegas. They hold it now. And I was like, well, it is available to me. It's there, you know. I can kind of go. I'm kind of not working now. And you know, like it's still battling the mindset of growing up in the Bronx and still thinking you're poor. Like a normal person would just fly there, and I'm like, nah, I can't afford it, you know. So I'm gonna drive out there, you know. And check this out: instead of even buying tickets, if you volunteer, the event is free. So I did it that way too. Like, so I'm like, I'm trying to save money, like on everything. So it's just crazy. Like looking back at it now, I can see like, cause I'm so afraid of having to spend money, you know. Like, yeah, and that's something that I think a lot of us growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, like, I think we still fight in that, because I see people like now who have made 6 digits and they still keep fighting for more money, and I'm like,
they still have that mentality.
Yeah, it's like, yo, yeah, like when are you gonna break free? Like you left New York years ago, you know, like
right?
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, like
was that the year that Lupe was there at Evo?
Yeah, so I met Lupe.
Yeah.
I met Lupe at that Evo. And I forgot. So he was starting to do Street Fighter stuff. He beat Daigo, quote unquote. And like he probably did beat him, you know, but at the same time he also beat him in an exhibition, you know. If it was first to 10 and if it was for money, you probably fight on a different Daigo.
Right. He's probably using his main, and he's.
I mean, he was using his main, but I'm saying like that Daigo. Magically, it just seems like when people fight Daigo first to 10, and when it really matters, it seems to be kind of different. Exhibition Daigo, and in the later years, post Red Bull and all this, he seems very kind of chill. He's like, yeah, I made it. You know, like whatever demons he was escaping from, it looked like he's cool. I doubt we're ever gonna get the Daigo who was kind of murdering for various reasons. Technology caught up. There's more people playing, but also he's more human now. You know, you can talk to him and approach. I met Daigo too. You know, I approached him and all that. He's way more, you know, like just down to earth than the original version of Daigo. Like when he was introduced to us as this robot, almost similar to Fedor, if you know Fedor from MMA. But anyway, I met Lupe. Yo, so Lupe, he would go to fighting game tournaments, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm going to fighting game tournaments." He posted on Twitter once, "I'm going fighting game tournaments to play fighting games, not to sign autographs and do that. So like, you know, if you see me, just kind of leave me alone and stuff, whatever, you know, some shit like that, you know." I don't remember the exact quote, but basically like, "Yo, I'm getting like whatever." So I'm working. I actually have a staff shirt. Funny enough, too, you know. But I'm just going to do something, and I see him. I'm like, "Yo, Lupe, I know you don't want to people bother you, but I just see you chilling here, you know." And I had something to do, so I just saw him. I just see him sitting, and no one's bothering. I was like, "Yo, can I get a pic or whatever?" And he's like, he don't even answer me. He just points down, and he's eating. And I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't see that," because I really didn't, you know. But I was like, "Man, all right," you know. I was like, I don't remember that, you know. You know, and I get it. Everybody's different. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. It's like Kevin Smith probably is not the one to do that based on how Kevin acts, but you know, we all different.
Right. So I mean,
but I'm gonna remember that,
so
Lupe, when I meet you again.
Lupe
and you
is
need me.
Now that we've established that Lupe Fiasco is a fucking dick.
There, that should be your intro cut.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, continue with your story.
But yeah, so like I went up to yeah. So I remember, yo, like, so I signed up for volunteering. To be fair, you're a volunteer, so you're not even committed. So I remember like 7 days before and every day, yo, like almost getting nervous. I'm like even afraid to leave Texas, yo, like to even like go on this journey by myself. Yo. I definitely overpacked my car like a motherfucker, you know. You know what I put in there? And you know, because again, like just this idea of like we don't have money, yo, I brought a rice cooker with me.
Oh my god!
I shit you not.
The stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
I shit you not. I packed a rice cooker with me, like I'm gonna live over there or some shit. And you know what's
just
crazy?
In case you gotta like meditate under a tree for the next 60 days.
Yo, I don't know, man. Like I just wanted to save money, yo. This whole thing is crazy. But I brought a rice cooker with me, and I go up. You know what's crazy? So I stayed there for 5 days in Vegas, and on the 4th day, like Evo's over, and I'm just so tired. I just stayed in my room, I think, for most of that day. I used that rice cooker. So I actually really did, which is crazy because I ate out every other day, like at Denny's or Smash or the Fat Burger or whatever was out there. But it's like on that day I actually used the fucking rice cooker. And I think
I like how you have all these great options in Vegas, and you said the Denny's and the fucking Fat Burger.
Brown rice. Yo, yeah, those were that was my first time in Vegas. I was only there for a fucking video game tournament, and I didn't really know what else was up, you know. So that's what I ended up at. Denny's a lot, because Denny's was on the way walking there, and then I ended up we ended up at the Strip. That's like this. Damn, even Vegas had like so many ridiculous stories.
Where is Evo? Where is Evo at in geographically in Vegas?
It's probably different every year, but that year, the first 2 days were in this kind of convention center, like near the clown casino. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
like
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's far away.
And then, then the final day was at Bally's, maybe, like where they do boxing and stuff. The Sunday was there, but then later on, and they moved all their events there or something. So it changed like as the years go. But this is 2016, so it's just different. Also, in then the after party, because I had my Red Bull Connects there. It was at the Luxor. So I kind of inadvertently ended up kind of helping too at the Red Bull thing. it's crazy. For so much fear, like I would also be a hustler sometimes. Like when there was something I wanted, like when there was something I wanted, and I was really confident about. It's the same thing. It'd be mad funny. Like back when I was younger, I might be intimidated to talk to like a girl I like. Yo, but if that girl I like had something I wanted in regards to music or something, I don't give a fuck. Yo, I'm gonna get what I want. Like I'm gonna talk to you.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Yo, so like, that year was like Red Bull finally starting to like take fighting games seriously, which to me still doesn't make sense, but it might be one of those investments where you get it cheap and it pays off later. And I was like, hey man, I'm doing stuff for Red Bull. Like, yo, I'm going to Vegas. Can you hook me up? And no one knew who the guy was. But yo, I bothered enough people that somehow, like, I found this one dude in Austin at the time. Who, none of these people even work for Red Bull anymore. But this guy, he actually started the esports division with the actual guy who was in charge at the moment. So he linked me with that dude. And then we linked. And then when I meet him in person, funny enough, I meet him in person by accident while I'm actually helping the Evo people because I'm doing the volunteer stuff, and I meet him in person, and then we talk, and he's like, oh, you actually like this. You're not trying to get free shit. So then we end up having real conversations, and that led to another opportunity that I fucked up. But yeah, for a minute there, I was going to end up working for him. And, you know, had I just stayed in LA, I probably would have ended up working for him, and I fucked up. Those little punk-ass things, but yeah, nah, like the night before to leave, I'm just telling like random like tidbits from this trip.
Yeah, yeah.
I could talk about this trip forever. So like, if you want like actual things, like you might need to like point out. But even the night before, man, I was so anxious to leave that I couldn't even sleep, and I think I must have went to bed like at midnight or some shit, or who knows when. And at 9 a.m., I think around 8 a.m. or 7 a.m., I'm like, all right, I should just leave like at the normal time because I'm not falling asleep. And I think from 9 a.m. to like 5 p.m. I made it to El Paso, which was crazy. I'm driving in El Paso, and you could kind of see the Texas border to Mexico. And I shit you not, a helicopter's flying over me, and I'm like, this shit looked like a Robert Rodriguez movie. It's like a military grade helicopter's flying over all the time, and I know it's all coincidence, but it's just mad funny. Like that's my first visual of the city. I'm gonna just keep driving.
Yeah.
And the whole trip to El Paso is wild because I was like, I maybe stop one time to pee, but then as it keeps going, I look at my gas and I'm like, it's 50%. I'm like, yo, there ain't been a gas station for like an hour. Like what's going on? At that point, once I realized that pattern, I was like, yo, every time I see a gas station, I'm gonna just get gas because this shit is crazy. I don't know. They clearly don't want people to survive,
Nah, it's just that stretch. There is nothing.
There's nothing. It's just brown
west
dirt.
Of San Antonio.
It's not even mountains. It's just brown dirt.
Yeah, just nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's crazy.
I mean, El Paso isn't a bad city. It's kind of cool. I've hung out there a few times because you have to living in Phoenix and your family in San Antonio. It's the halfway point basically.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, I remember my very first reaction driving through it. You look over and you see Mexico, and you're just like, yo, that place is a piece of shit. That's like that's the very first impression that you have. It's like, how are we like this on this side? And then you look right over that fence, and it's just like these dilapidated houses, and it's weird. It's like really weird because I don't think that in America, there's not another city that you can go to where you're just driving through and you can just look over and see like everything that's going on over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could just get that whole glimpse of the city, and it's just like, man, that's Juarez too. That's where the real drugs come from.
Yeah, I visited El Paso on my way back, and so I actually got to see some of that where you're talking about, where you could look at it.
I didn't think.
Literally, one of the proposed options to me was like, why don't we just go get tacos in Juarez? I was like, or we could do something else. I was like,
yeah, literally anything else. Like, you could get tacos in El Paso. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah, so I was like, I'm good. I don't need to go over there.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely not.
funny enough, I didn't know you living in Phoenix at the time. So I make it to Phoenix around 11 p.m. and I think it's a Tuesday night, I think. And I was like, yo, I don't know if I'm ever going to be here again. Let me just see what Phoenix nightlife is like. And on a Tuesday, and not knowing the area and the downtown, yo, every place I typed in Google was closed.
Oh shit.
Because I was like looking for music venues or something, you know, like any type of thing, jazz stuff, any type of music. And I drove to like 3 spots and they were all closed. But then I just settled for some random ass bar. And I shit you not, I was that dude. I sat at the bar was dead, by the way, but I actually went to a bar, which rare Abe story of Abe going to a bar. I go to a bar.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I was just there and I just wanted to see, like, I was like, Phoenix is a real
See
city.
something.
Yeah, Barkley played here once, you know, so in my head, right, that's how I know the city. Barkley played here, right? Maybe the Diamondbacks, right? So Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling, you know,
Hey, yeah, they won a fucking championship, man.
Yeah. So I want to see that. And so I'm just at this bar, and I'm at the bar. What is it called? You know, the actual bar part, the bar stool area. And I just take a water because I ain't drinking, right? Like I'm driving and shit.
Hold on, wait, what the fuck? You couldn't just like extend yourself to buy one fucking drink?
No, because you don't remember the theme that keeps running. I'm too afraid to spend money. You know something?
Oh, that's right. You got a rice cooker in your fucking car while you're sitting at the bar. I forgot. This is the fucking vacation of rice and water at the bar.
Yeah. So like, it's serious, dog. It's serious. It's serious. So like, yo, and I had my podcast gear on me too. Like I had all kinds of shit in there. Yo, I had the Ableton in there.
You should have pawned it for a fucking whiskey drink or something.
Yo, so I just end up talking to random people there about life and shit and what they trying to do. I just made random bar conversation. Then at 2 a.m. I was like, all right, time to go to Vegas. And then I was tired and I saw a Walmart and I literally did a U-turn. I went to sleep in Walmart. And I went to sleep in Walmart. And before COVID, back in the days when Walmart was 24 hours. Remember the good old days?
The good old days, yeah.
Wake up, I have that McDonald's egg biscuit thing, whatever they do.
Ooh.
It's the good stuff, man. See,
the good stuff.
Every now and then I spend the money. You know, no rice cooker there.
It's only on the fast food, though.
Yeah.
I see
that's
that
my problem. Yo, so
yeah.
like, I think growing up too, where I live, like, I don't think I ever graduated to adult food. Fast food is like God's gift, you know. Even if God's gift comes similar to the Eden, right? The Garden of Eve, even if it comes at a cost of your life.
It is the apple on the tree.
Yeah. You don't really get knowledge. You get like, I guess, a lot of dopamine or something, but and it takes from your life force. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I definitely pedestal fast food really fucking hard. But yo, when I drive to Vegas from there, yo, like you're just driving. There is nothing but dirt road. Road. And I was like, I'm kind of glad I went to sleep because if I drove this shit at 2 a.m., like it would have just been me. And it probably would have been fine. My car, yo, I literally bought yo, you want to hear some crazy shit?
You bought it before you got fired, didn't you?
Yo, no, so that car, yo, this is what I'm saying. Like, I wish I would just lie all the time when I'm talking to any type of institution involving money. Because, look, I had no job, and somehow I bought that car like 2 days before I took this trip. Because because the hailstorm hit Texas, like San Antonio, and it murdered my car. So my car was in the shop, yo, for like, I don't know, man, like maybe 45, 50 days, and the insurance only gave me a rental. The insurance only gave me a rental for 30 days, and they're like, yeah, sorry, we can't cover it. I was like, well, what I pay you guys for? If you guys can't cover, you can't get my car fixed, like, what's going on? And so they got my car fixed right before the trip, and then I'm looking at this car, and there's still dents in it, and I'm like, I'm not driving this shit. I was totally fine to drive it before it had fucked up, but you telling me you guys had this car for nearly 2 months and it's still not fixed? I'm just getting a new one, and that's what I did. So I got a new one specifically because of that hailstorm. Otherwise, I would have had a completely different car. But yeah, so it was new, so the car would have been fine. But yo, like I'm driving and it's nothing but dirt, like, and it's crazy. And I shit you not, like I don't remember if it was where is Phoenix in? Arizona, North Arizona,
Vegas is
or if
north
it's in
of-
Nevada. But yo,
Yeah.
I leave this pit stop store, like one almost like a gas station from like the movies, right? Like just 2 stalls and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yo, so I leave that shit and I'm driving on one of these 1-lane quote unquote highways, right, with barely a road, and I see this guy walking.
What the fuck?
And the only thing I could think, there's nothing in sight. That store is long gone, and there's nothing behind him either. And I see him still walking as I pass by him, and I'm like, I'm really curious. Like, what the hell did you do that someone put you here? Because you must have really fucked up. That somebody was like, this is what he deserves to be in this. Like,
it was a woman for sure. That is the theme.
yeah,
That is the running theme of this show.
Yeah. But yo, that guy is still there, yo. So that guy was there. I ain't stopped, you know. I mean, like, I'm nice, but I ain't stranger in the fucking desert nice, you know
weird.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You would have been murdered for sure.
Yo, so Nevada exit 1 is the fucking dam, and I saw the dam.
Hell yeah!
And
did
I
you
was
stop?
like, yeah, I did. Like, I didn't even know that shit was there. I've heard of it, you know, like rumors and legends of the dam, but I didn't really realize it was gonna be on my trip. So I stopped. Oh my gosh, that was like the hottest shit ever.
I think Hoover. The only reason Hoover Dam is so famous is because it's that connection of people driving from Phoenix to Vegas or Vegas to Phoenix. Like, because you see it, and I mean it is pretty fucking cool when you see it.
Yeah,
because it's just so, like, the drop off from the bridge to the water is just
and
insane.
some parts are running and some parts aren't, you know.
Right, yeah, and it's really beautiful, like because it's a giant lake, and the water is like a glass color, and you have those red mountains. It really is beautiful.
Yeah,
it really is. So I'm glad you stopped.
No, I did. It was real. It's real surprising. Like I just this was like I was just kind of like trying to do the things I would normally wouldn't do in the past show. So I stopped there, and you know what memory? So first of all, majority of it was free. So I only did the free stuff. So, but I know they have this like little food court thing there. But you know what, yo? I ended up seeing this girl, and she was super pretty. And back then, like I still got I feel like it's harder and harder for me to care about that now. But at that time, definitely it was something that would have a big effect. I was super nervous, but I ended up actually talking to her. And back then was, I think, around the time where I was asking people what's their goal in life and stuff. So somehow,
don't tell me you asked.
Somehow, yeah, we got to that, and I think I even did an Instagram post. So I think if you scroll down enough to 2016, which you know me, I posted a lot. But if you scroll down on my Instagram one, you could probably find that girl. And yeah.
You had a picture of the actual girl?
No, it was a video, like her, like literally saying like whatever it was. I asked her, you know.
No, but she's on the video?
Yeah, it's her answering the question. Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Keep talking, because I'm going to that now. As a matter of fact, I have direct access because you liked my fucking video earlier.
Dope, yeah. Dope, yeah. So like I told you, like when it comes to like things involving the art, even if there's like that intimidation of the pretty, I'm never gonna let it stop me, you know, for whatever reason, you know. I don't know why, you know.
I just want to take a break to say this. For someone that is single, you got a lot of really hot fucking girls on your Instagram. fucking bullshit is what it is.
I think after seeing very many therapy podcasts and stuff, right? Like that I've told you about, I'm real good at maybe at the time, probably real good at either one, friend zoning me, or meeting a lot of people who are maybe unemotionally available or unemotionally available to me. That would be the answer to that question, you know?
Right.
But also though, for some of those people, you know, I'm also seeking like I said, something maybe unfair of them. I'm seeking life purpose through them, you know, and like that's unfair to ask of anyone. So I think once they would realize that, they would slowly push me away anyway. You know, like,
Right.
but it is kind of funny, right? Now, like, because that's not something I would think of, and then I hear that from you, and I'm like, you're probably right.
I mean, I'm scrolling through it now, and I'm just like, that's wifey material. That's wifey material. But
funny.
mentally, they're probably not wifey material because they're probably just as tortured as we are. So
yeah. I'm a big. I don't know.
Oh, I see a teddy bear. I wonder what that is.
Got a fake girlfriend or boyfriend. She's got a fake boyfriend. I don't care. He lives in LA. Some shit like that. That song's dope.
You're talking about me.
That song's dope. So all right. So here, look. You want a good argument of being in defense of putting out everything, or at least making everything. I'm a big believer of like you should always make stuff whenever if possible. Obviously don't kill your life, which I have done. So don't do that. But when you make stuff all the time, like that song, we would probably both never make that song. I don't even have hardware anymore, so like I actually made part of that beat on a real keyboard, like a real synthesizer. So like we can't make that song no more because those experiences are gone. But that kind of is a record of where we were at that point,
Right.
So I think, it's
For
dope.
sure.
It exists, like it's like a nice little chronicle.
And it's there.
Yeah.
I still haven't told that girl that song exists.
But I mean, at this point,
she
would
has
there
no
be
idea.
any benefit to even telling her?
No, there wouldn't.
So who cares? Yeah, it does. You don't need it.
She ended up with that guy from that song. She ended up with that guy.
Good for her.
How fucking crazy is that? Good for her, man.
It's not fake. It's due to sequel. She's got a real boyfriend.
She's got a real boyfriend.
Or husband, maybe, right? But real boyfriend is better for the sequel,
Yeah, for sure.
That's
you've
dope.
been sending me beats.
Dope.
I might just record it.
Do it. I haven't sent you nothing in a while because I haven't been making stuff. And then, to be fair, I know part of me was like, well, I'm sending it to him just because why not? But I also like, these things, I am a believer that you can rap on anything, but I'm like, lately I was veering in the direction of more like cinematic stuff. I was like, they're not even like beats. You could probably beatify them, but I was like loop certain sections, but I was like, these ain't even beats no more. These are like some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like the dude who came on before, Duke Money, he was like, I was showing them some of your new shit, and I guess they made movies. He was like, yeah, man, like you should. He was like advertising me as like a composer. Now I was like some type of shit,
Fucking Beethoven in the house over here.
But yeah. So that's probably July or August 2016, because I know at some you can on the bottom of the Instagram post, it does tell you.
I'm around there, so I'm at August 2016 is where I'm at, and I'm still scrolling down. Oh shit! There's
if you find her, like kind of DM me that, because I don't want to scroll down, but I'm curious to think if I'll find her attractive now or not.
So you, me, and my ex would have been after, right? Because you have a picture of you. Me,
oh
and
yes,
my
because I didn't know you lived in Phoenix. Yeah.
So that was
this is on the way back.
Return trip.
Yeah, this is on the way back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so keep talking about your trip.
You getting close. That girl was from Italy, by the way, and she was on like a solo adventure of her own.
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god. Yeah. She was on her own adventure.
Yeah, somebody paid for it because of reasons, and she was going through her own life journey, So it was just like life journeys coincided and shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I found it. I think I found it. I see a video and it looks like a Hoover Dam. So
DM me it. DM me it because I really want to see it now. It's interesting to see that memory. That's funny. But from there, I take off to Vegas. I get there, and you know what that damn fuck. So I didn't stay at the Clown Hotel because again, I'm trying to save money. So I stayed at the crappy ass. I want to look that shit up right now. What's the name of that Clown Hotel?
It's
Clown Hotel, Nevada. Damn. That's funny that pops up.
God damn it! What the fuck is
Wow,
the
there's a
name?
real world famous clown motel in Nevada. That is not what I'm looking for. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? It has a casino in it and everything. Damn it, man. I need to type Vegas. Clown Hotel in Vegas.
Yes, there's a big giant. It has to come up. It's
No, it's not coming up because there's a real clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada. So I'm getting that one. I'm like, what's the name? Maybe Joker Hotel. Let me type Joker Hotel because maybe that'll work. The fuck is the Jockey Hotel?
I have a video from inside of that hotel on my Instagram somewhere.
Oh my gosh, yo. Give me this map. This map will find you. I need the strip. Somebody give me the fucking strip. Tropicana, Vegas.
It's down at the... Dude, I'm telling you, I have a fucking picture of that hotel.
Yeah, like, yo, I'm looking at the map of Vegas, but I'll be honest, this doesn't mean nothing to me right now. It's been a while.
Okay, actually, I know where it's at, so let me look at the map.
What is
exactly?
I mean, just put Las Vegas Strip, because it's literally at the end of the strip. It's like at the beginning.
It's at the very end of the fucking strip. But I know exactly where it is, so let me fucking get there.
What's the name of this street so I could because once if I could
Las Vegas Boulevard.
Because this
Las Vegas Boulevard is the name of the fucking strip.
Because this thing is just showing me like downtown randomly, and I need to pick it, and all I see is highways and shit. So I'm like, this ain't helping me nothing. I'm like, it's like 1595. Like, what am I doing here? I don't know what any of this shit is.
Oh yeah, you're right. When you just look at the fucking
map, yeah, I'm like the DMV, Nevada DMV. I don't remember any of that shit.
Yeah, where the fuck is the actual strip?
Yeah, it's like Mandalay Bay. I don't know. Is this it? All right. Well, anyway, waste too much time on that. But look, right next to the Clown Hotel, that by the way has like an amusement park and arcade in there anyway, which I saw on the last very day. Like that was like my final Las Vegas experience before I left. But yo, I get there and I stayed at the hotel / motel next to it because again, I gotta save money, so I didn't even stay in the damn fancy Clown Hotel. I stayed in like, I'm just gonna make up a name. It probably wasn't Econo Lodge, but yeah, I stayed in Econo Lodge, Las Vegas. So I get there and they look at me like I'm weird, and they like, yo, man, you scheduled your room for 3 p.m. I ain't scheduled my room for shit. I just said I need this shit for 5 days, you know. But I was like, but they said 3 p.m. your room be ready, and I'm there like at 11. I'm like, fuck, dude, I just want to lay down. I'm tired, you know.
Right.
So I go outside, I just start walking, exploring Vegas, and I meet somebody. I'm trying to be nice, you know, like I'm in New World, I'm in New Vegas. I meet this one dude. A lot of people got tags, the ticket to go into Evo, and I talked to this one dude. I don't know how we got to talking, but this is a thing where you can maybe be too nice, you know. This dude's from Virginia, and you know, like, you know how sometimes people have dreams, and we all got dreams, yo, but sometimes your dreams is ridiculous, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like let's say, like, yo, let's say you just told me tomorrow, like, yo, man, like, let's say you just started rapping, but you're like, you know what, man, I'm gonna drop my album tomorrow, even though you just started rapping today, and you're like, I'm gonna be Drake. So I met this guy in Virginia. It seemed like he's from Virginia, West Virginia, and he just started like playing Street Fighter seriously, maybe the last few months. I've never seen this dude play, but from the way he talked, sound like you better than me, but you suck. You know, like I can tell right away. You know,
right?
Like, but he's over here talking about like, look, like I don't got too much money, but I'm gonna win Evo, and and that'll be enough money to pay for my trip back. And I'm like, what? I was like, but you know, but so here's the crazy thing. But he's like, but unfortunately, it's not that my dream is crazy. He was like, my dream's gonna be, I might not be able to fulfill my dream because either he forgot his controller because he plays on a PlayStation control, or it broke, or some crazy shit. So and check this out, he had no money to buy one, and he had no money to go to Best Buy or any of the places to get one. It was all kinds of crazy shit. So you know what we do? This guy again doesn't have a controller. I don't remember no more. We go to GameStop. I took this person who I just met. I took this kid. I don't know this kid. And I had him on Facebook. I probably still have him. You know, we talk every now and then. But this person who I just met, I took him to to the Las Vegas Mall, some real mall, dude, like a real indoor mall, not the Strip, which also is a mall, but the real mall. We go to GameStop. And he's out here trying to sell his PS4 because they don't want to buy none of the video game items he has because they're worth nothing. And he's trying to sell his PS4. And they were going to give him like some prophetic amount. Also, he can buy like a $50 PlayStation control because he doesn't have enough money. In retrospect, God. I thought about this story like a few months ago. I was like, again, you know, I'm living my life in this way of fear, but I was like, yo, I should have just bought the fucking control for him. Like, why did I let him sell his PS4? You know, and I was like, damn,
because
this is kind of sad.
Brooklyn rice cooker water in the bar fucking boat. That's why you didn't do
it. But yeah, so I was like, nah, this GameStop shit's crazy. Like I ain't let him do it, or maybe they just weren't giving him a month. So I still drive him someplace. I drove him to Best Buy. Like all I wanted to do was sleep for a little bit, just enough. So I drove him to Best Buy, and he ends up selling like his PS4 and like all his games and shit, just so he can buy one control, so he can practice tonight and win tomorrow. Right? That was the goal. And he did it. And you know what he did? Like I think he ended up buying a bunch of chips and like soda, and he gave them to me. And then he gave me like, I think like $100 left on a Best Buy gift card because they paid him for him.
Yeah. Dude, what a fucking story, bro. Like if you could just catch that entire experience on camera and put "I Am the Tiger" as the fucking song in the background, like this kid is trading to win the fucking Evo and he has nothing and he comes from nothing. I mean, my God, what a fucking story. By the way, the name of that hotel is Circus, and it's the stupidest fucking name.
Circus, yes. Yo, look at this girl, yo. She looks, there's nothing wrong, but I remember like just the feeling I got probably, I was just so nervous as fuck, you know, like I don't know why we do that shit to ourselves, but you know, she just looks like a human, you know, but I mean, when you're in that mode, you don't see it like that. You were
able to talk to her and get that from her. I mean,
but you know what I couldn't do? I
doesn't
couldn't
understand what I'm saying, but
you know what I couldn't do?
He just saw the video. I said, what?
I couldn't like talk to her just to talk to her, or I couldn't talk to her to, you know,
you had to
get
have
the number.
You had to have a reason.
Yeah,
you had to like make up a thing.
Yeah,
and that's so trash. It's so trash. Like I hate it. I fucking hate it so much. Oh. I don't know.
Circus Drive. Like if I could just turn this around. Travel Lodge by Wyndham, Las Vegas. Right, that's where I stay.
That's where you stay. So anyone that knows Vegas, Circus is like hidden way in the back of the strip, and then there's a shitty little
the strip
lodge,
literally ends right there. The strip literally ends right there.
Yes. There's a mini mart. There's like a mini mart outside of it. You can go and like buy alcohol or water if you're Abe.
The streets, literally, because there's homeless people right there by the. It's like I literally picked
right outside the mini mart.
It's like I picked New York to live right in Las Vegas. It's like, so
you were back home.
So that guy, and I ended up talking to one of the girls in the Best Buy too, asking them about like Las Vegas life. Now I just remember that too, because I figured like if you're working here, like you're probably like a real Las Vegas person. So I was just curious, like what real people think of us just coming here abusing your city.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't live in Vegas. That place is fucking insane, man.
Honestly, I found like I'd probably have to go again, but outside, like, yo, this was one of the most fun weekends of my life. But once Evo was done, it was kind of whack. Like, so I was kind of there mainly just for the people. It's crazy how I met people from Texas who I'm like, I ain't never met you in my life. They weren't from San Antonio, that's probably why. But like, yeah, like I traveled to Vegas just to meet people from Austin. I was like, this is dumb. This is dumb.
That's the thing is when you're in Vegas, you're gonna see people from everywhere at all times. So it's
Yo,
I don't even know what the population of Vegas is, to be honest, like the actual population of people who live there. But I
yeah.
mean, they have more flights going into Vegas, I think, than anywhere because people are just going there at all times.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice tourist spot. I want to say I never got to sleep that day because I spent so much time trying to sell like the PS4, find a place that would buy his PS4 so that he could get
and talking him up and like training him and telling him.
I
what
didn't get to
do.
train or no nothing. It was just like it was just all on the journey to sell the PS4. And then by the time we got back, I got my room and then I had to go claim like my ticket at Evo, which I was late for. And then I spent like till what I would almost end up spending midnight there all the time. And we didn't actually have to be there, but we could be there. And it was just cool to be around, you know, the stuff that you like and stuff. But yeah, man, this shit was crazy. My first walk to the convention center. I shit you not. This guy whips out a brown paper bag and tries to sell me a 40. That's what area I was staying in, dude. I shit you not, yo. I don't know if it was whiskey or something. I don't know what was in there.
He peed in that 40 ounces, probably.
I was like straight up like, who would buy that? Like literally the store is right there. Why am I gonna buy it from you?
My God. Welcome to Vegas.
Yeah, it's the streets.
Those two stories have to be the most crackhead stories I've ever heard from fucking people's first time in Vegas. My God. I mean, it's bad there, but Jesus.
On the final night when we're doing the Luxor after party, I think we left like I was able to get mad people. And, yo, I got this girl, and again, random that I was because back then I would post more. I was a normal person, so I used Snapchat a lot. And this girl who I probably know for the wrong reasons, right? Like it was like a friend of, I guess, an ex, but like you know, like we stay socially media in friends, not really nothing else, you know. But she's there. Again from Houston, so another Texas person has nothing to do with the fighting game. So I got her into the Red Bull party. So it was just crazy, like the amount of people I got into the. I got people who had like Microsoft deals, like with them to the Red Bull party. Yo, I got this one player, I think a legend player from Japan, into the Red Bull party because they didn't believe that he was a dope player from Japan. I'm like, no, he is. He is. Like, what are you doing? Yo, I remember actually getting like. Then I hooked up one Japanese player with the goods too because yeah, like he couldn't get his froze, all kinds of crazy shit, yo. But like one of the things from that, we leave like at 4 a.m. We want food. They ain't really have food, you know. They're just having like they had a special nerd section for the gamers, and then they had like a normal like DJ going off, you know, like, and it's like I don't know how many of them were gonna really do that, but it's there, you know. You know, like just a normal club environment at the Luxor, you know. But 4 a.m. we go, and you know we don't know Vegas, and we like, yo, let's just walk home the other way. You know, we started walking home and taking you away. I thought you could just easily go around the strip. Yo, we ended up on some crazy, like backdoor woods, some shit that we just ended up having a U-turn perfectly direct because we didn't even know where we was going. And it's like 5 a.m, and then I see Fat Burger. I had only heard of Fat Burger, like the legend. It's something. It's still not even in Texas, right? Yeah, it was only something I would see in like TV or movies and shit.
Okay, you want to hear something? Okay, here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So for a very, very short period of time, they opened a Fat Burger in San Antonio.
Whoa! What
This was when did you come to San Antonio?
2003. But I ain't always go out either, too, man.
No, you were there.
I
You
came here.
you were there at that point. But it was on your side of town over, where the where that AMC is, like northwest side of town. I don't It's probably not even AMC anymore. Um Fuck, can't even remember what you would call that. There's a flying saucer there. There's just like a huge shopping strip. But anyway, they opened like a little fat burger in the corner, and it was there, and I went there several times,
Mm.
and I actually enjoyed it. And then I guess it just didn't make it. But they tried. They did try.
That shit, damn. You know who also tried and no longer here? Carl's Jr.
Jesus.
Carl's Jr.
Wow.
And which I swear you see a lot of that shit when I'm driving out to Cali. Yo, even
Dude,
in
they
Vegas, I
opened
saw that
Crystals.
shit a lot. You know,
They opened Crystals in San Antonio for a little while.
what's that?
And
I
it
don't know
didn't
that one. What's
make
that
it.
one?
Crystals is basically a knockoff White Castle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they make little sliders.
Got you.
It's like exactly the same as White Castle, but it didn't make it.
There's I did the most gluttonous shit. The most I think I got the fattest burger possible, dude. It's like 5 a.m. I'm with that same guy from Virginia, by the way, because I got him into the party too. Like, who at this point he only won. I think he won like 2-1. That was his tournament record. He won one match and I guess he won two matches. No. So 1 and 2. Sorry, he won his first match, and then that was it. That was his whole. That was
Damn.
his. Then he lost the other team. But he's there. He was also on that same time, like if not more serious than me, like in that like too broke to buy any. So he didn't buy nothing. I think I might have gotten him like fries or something, because I think he probably just didn't want me to get him stuff. But yeah, like I think I got the fattest burger. Back then I was on that crazy shit. I get the fattest burger. I probably got like two, the largest fries, and then I probably got the big ass milkshake.
They have the relish on the burger.
I don't even remember, man. But it was way too big. I didn't need to get that shit. Like I remember stuff I didn't need to get. It's like 5 a.m. He wants to go home. I think he's probably done with Vegas at this point.
Yeah.
Though I think he had some crazy setup where I think he was gonna be here till like Wednesday or some shit. I don't know why. Some people got they flights all kind of like weird. Like, and it's funny because some of them weren't social, so it's like he just stayed in the hotel room. It's like, why would you even do that then? Yeah, there's this one dude, man, like, yo, there's a lot of shitty sponsorships. This is one dude, probably like of all the famous Street Fighter players we've had on the podcast or stuff, like he's probably the most realist one. Probably too real, which is probably why he's had like a certain level of not success,
Yeah.
But yo, that dude was there too, so it was like first time meeting him in person. Yo, that dude, this is a dude with a sponsorship. I drove him to the airport. Because his sponsor wouldn't pay for it. And I'm like, man, that's the level of sponsorship that we have, I was like, that's wild. That don't even make any sense. Yeah, so look at that. I went to Las Vegas airport. I'm not even an Uber driver. I went to Las Vegas airport on that trip.
You weren't an Uber driver yet.
Yeah, not yet, right? That's to come. I should have been, because apparently 2016 was the year. Way better than now,
That was the year to do it, man.
Yeah.
They were paying back then.
Yeah. But yo, but same thing. Like, so it's funny I mentioned Uber, because again, even though I spent who knows how much money at Fatburger, probably like 20 to 30, right? Everything's expensive. We walked. The Luxor's at the other opposite end of the strip. Yo, we walk the entire strip because we both too cheap to pay for a ride. And to my disappointment, right, Las Vegas is not eternal. Even on a Saturday night or whatever it was, Sunday night, like it's just not an eternal place. Like once it's like midnight, things start shutting down. Normal transportation shuts down.
It gets quiet. It starts to get quiet.
I cannot believe those monorails aren't 24 hours. That would dramatically help a lot if they were 24 hours.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing is people are there getting drunk and gambling 24/7, but it's like you don't have access to all the fucking shit that you would have during the normal day. So it kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like
But
that was super disappointing. I started comparing it to New York right
you
away.
walk from like Circus to fucking Luxor?
No, from Fat Burger to Circus, essentially.
Okay, well I don't know where Fat Burger is.
So it's by the Luxor. You can just look, but essentially it's the whole strip because it's on the. That's almost the beginning of that of just like Circus is one end. That's literally the other end. You know, so it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. Yo, by the time we got to the Circus, it's sunrise.
Oh my!
It was literally
God.
yo. We left the Luxor in darkness, pure dark.
Acting like a bunch of drunks, and you're not even drunk.
Nobody was drunk. He wasn't drunk, and I got him all the free drinks at the Red Bull thing, but he didn't want them. Nobody was drunk. That shit was ridiculous. That shit.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, by the time we got in there, it was daytime. We were just gassed like a motherfucker, dude. Yo, you know what's the most funny thing? I can't remember. What's the name of the store? Do I still got the maps? Do I still got this?
The one that's on every corner? ABC?
No, I always found it funny that like I'm walking this strip. This is Las Vegas, and they had like is it Strauss? Like RJ? Like they have like a clothing store right on the strip. Like that's the Denny's or some shit.
Clothing store?
I shit you not. I'm trying to look now to see if it pops up again. Like maybe it's a little further down. But yeah, like a normal like one of these like I don't do normal shopping, so it's like, but one of these stores that would be here, like with blue letters, like RJ Strauss or some shit. Like yeah, I was like, why is this here on the strip? Like why is CVS right here? I was like,
they got all that basic. They got all that basic shit on the strip. They got fucking they got like the CVS. They got Taco Bell. They got fucking Panda Express.
I don't know. Just the clothing store just took me off guard. Like I guess like CVS makes more sense, but I was like, yo, why is low? I'm just dripping right now. Like, why is low fashion accessories on the strip? Why that needs to be honestly on me?
Dude, they put that shit. It's like it's like a third world country. Like you got like fucking like a Ross Dress for Less. And then
That's it. That's what
the
Ross because it's right next to the clown place. The what a circus. I was like, why is this here?
So they got like a Ross Dress for Less, and right next door is fucking Louis Vuitton. Like it's fucking crazy. Vegas is crazy.
The story I told myself is because you probably gonna try to go to that nightclub on the strip, the one where all of them would play, like the EDM gets. And they're going to look at your dress code. They're going to tell you no. But luckily, whatever store you said, Ross.
There's a Ross dress.
Yeah, you can go right there. And that's how they make their money because all these idiots get turned down for their dress code.
Hey, you got 2 choices, right? So you walked into the casino. You bet $200. You lost all 200. You go to Ross. If you bet the 200 and you win like $7,000, you go to the Gucci store. That's why they're both fucking there.
Yo, know what?
That's why they're both fucking there, yo.
Yo, you know what memory just came into my... Do you remember Betty? Fighting game Betty? Yo, Betty...
Yeah, cowboy hat Betty.
Yes, this motherfucker loves the country music. And as serious as he was about fighting games, he would be like, oh, yeah, yo, I'm down, but at whatever time, I'm gonna just make up a time. Like Friday at 7, like seeing Garth Brooks.
He's gotta go see Garth Brooks, man.
So he would leave everybody, go see his shit. You look at his Snapchat or whatever we were using at the time, and you would just see all this country music shit, and then he would just come back.
Bro, Betty used to send me fucking invites, and he'd be like, hey, I'm going to this so-and-so concert, because I like country music.
Yeah.
But he would send me like these invites. He would be like, I'm going to so-and-so concert, and I'd be like, I would think it to myself, I don't know who the fuck that is, Betty. Like,
yo,
like I'm not into country music that hard to where I know like some obscure, weird country fucking song. But I mean, that's Betty, bro. He would show up to the fighting tournament.
Yeah, no, that was dope. I like that. And it was so weird because like when I see him here, like he takes games way serious, and I wish I could have been that good, but I never also took it too serious, you know. But then, like, when he's in the place to take it the most serious, Vegas, he's all about having a good time and could care less about taking it serious.
We need to tag fucking Betty in this fucking podcast. So out of the whole group, because I didn't know, because I wasn't the fighting game dude.
Yeah.
Who was the guy out of the group
Oh, you mean like who was the best?
for fighting games? For fighting games, yeah.
So it wasn't the people I rode with. So Street Fighter 4 was the game at the time.
Okay,
so
out of people I know, was it House?
I was gonna say we had 4 gods, right? And out of those 4 gods, House is probably the one you know. The other one was Jason, Bonnie's husband. I don't know if you ever met Jason. He was kind of more like chill, laid back black dude, but like Bonnie, she was the vocal one because she used to do events in NorCal. She's an Asian girl. Did you ever meet her or not?
Probably not.
Yeah, like he was way more silent and he definitely had the vibe like if you weren't worth his time, he wasn't gonna waste time playing you, you know? And the same thing for Rain. I don't know if you ever met Rain. Like Rain was the type, he wasn't gonna show up. These are like almost like mythical creatures. If there wasn't money, if there wasn't enough money or they weren't worth your time, like a challenge, they weren't gonna come out. So Rain was another one. He was kind of like a nerdy white dude at the time. He was a bigger, like kind of fatter dude, but like over the course of a few years, like he actually got in a real great shape. And then the 4th one was this dude who you probably met, but I never remember his name. But usually someone else reminds me of his name, it's probably not gonna be you. But he was kind of this stoner dude. He played on Street Fighter. He played with a controller. But he would always put himself in scenarios where he couldn't use the controller. So he would always still do really good, but then like complain that he couldn't use his controllers. It was ridiculous. But yeah, those were the 4 San Antonio guys, and I mean as a city, we were probably like that might be the last time we met in Texas.
Okay, so
four.
House. The rest of them sound terrible. House is the only person
because House was a House like. All right, I don't know what he does in private, and he probably is learning and stuff. But yo, House, like, yeah, he never like took it seriously like them. It just seemed like outside looking in,
he actually had a life and did.
Yeah,
and he was cool.
Like his fighting game story, right, is because he got injured. Like, but before that, he was a track runner, I believe, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah,
it looks like he could have been a track.
He had a scholarship, I believe, at Texas A&M, and I want to say I believe it's for running. If it's not for running, it was for some sport, but I swear it was for running. And then he blew out his quad or something, and then that's when he started playing Street Fighter. And lo and behold, he was good at that, you know. But they don't give scholarships for that, so they don't. So that was over.
He's a Titans fan. House is always cool in my book. But last time I saw him, we had a falling out. So
that's
so tag him, tell him I'm sorry.
I always appreciate House because, like, I know that I was never close to the level. And funny enough, like, I used to drive everybody to Austin. Not everybody, but the people that wanted to go for the Sunday night fights out there. And House would be down. But Austin had this thing that most people, even beyond Texas, hate. But Austin used to love to run teams. And because I'm driving them, like, House would be on my team. And I'm like the weak link. I don't know how to play. I love this game, but I suck. And I always felt bad because House was dope, but House was like Michael Jordan. And, like, I'm not Scottie Pippen. I'm like, I'm the tower boy. I'm the tower boy, you know? So I would just be dragging it, you know? Like, and I was always tell him, like, yo, man, like, you know, like, it's dope because that we were able to do this because I know, like, I'm trash. Like, so, you know, thanks for being down. He was like, whatever, because at the end of the day, he was having fun. Outside of tournament play, dude, like, he could have a full conversation with you while busting people's ass, you know?
Yeah.
It was kind of hilarious. Like, he'd be drinking, he'd be talking shit, you'd be talking about whatever shit. He'd be talking about whatever nonsense sport, but he'd talking about, and he's still busting you ass with Blanca, you know? Like, it's mad wild. House was dope. House was dope. Everybody else.
I miss House. I miss him so much. Come back to me, House.
Hit him up, man.
Tennessee Titans for life.
When I was in Dallas and I was down over that girl, this one fighting game guy who's he is kind of famous in the community. He did my podcast, so I appreciate him too. This man took me in, yo, and let me hang out with him while I'm depressed because I'm clearly depressed over this girl. And he let me, and he invited me. one, he invited me to his job, and I just hung out with him. We talked shit. But then two, the next day, him and his family like invite me to a recording to their house. And it's like, I have nothing to do with it. And I'm like so low self-esteem at this point, I didn't even go. And he texts me like, yo, man, you coming? And I'm like, fuck. But because I'm Ubering, I'm in a bad part of Dallas, because Dallas like 800 miles, you know, like, so it took me forever to get there. But I got there and they're recording already. And his wife's there and all that. And there's free pizza. And I, you know, I fucking ate way too much of that, being that I'm not really contributing, you know? But like, you know, they all look after me. And then I start talking to the people who are there. They're like, why are you here, dude? Like, and I know, and the way I talk, they know I know stuff, but I don't really know of them. And I'm talking about my time. And then House comes up, and the dude's like, House, like, I used to sponsor House. Like, you know how they call him Flash? Like, yeah, I'm Flash. He's like, I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, small world. So I ended up hitting House up that day, because I'm like, no, look who I'm with. I'm at. And I'm like, that's wild, you know? But yeah, and then I'm telling them old school stories about like our times, because I knew the OGs, but this Street Fighter 5 shit, like that's for the kids now. You know, I don't do that shit. But I mean, like, there's a variety of reasons. But yeah, no, that's an interesting period in our life, because fighting games has I don't think it's gonna be this way as more people play it because of the internet. But just being that it came from the arcades and it was always minority driven, New York, NorCal, SoCal, you know, it had a very distinctive hood element, even in San Antonio. Like, it attracted some of the grimiest people to play these games. Like,
sure, David Alabama.
Yes, yeah, I was trying to avoid saying that. I was trying to avoid. But in a weird twist of fate, right? That's how I know you, right? So it's like, life's crazy. Life is crazy. I've never imagined when I met you that, like, yo, I'm gonna know you. Probably, who knows, right? Maybe even our whole entire life. That I'm gonna know you. But David, who I'm actually is the reason why I know you.
Why we know each other.
That I'm gonna hate this. He's the only motherfucker that I'm like. That I will describe as, yeah, this is not a good person. I don't know what he's like today. Maybe he's good now. I don't know. But that's the only person, when I have to describe him in like actual stories, that I usually reiterate. This is not a good person. This is not a good human being. Like, stories of him just stealing money and just doing other dumb shit. Let alone the stories, like, this stealing money is from my friends, like stuff he did to me. So it's not even like the stuff that he did to various girlfriends and whoever else, you know, and children or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
And I've known him much longer than you have. But let's not make this the David Alabama show. I mean, at one point, he was my best friend, and if he wanted to be my friend, he would still be my friend at a distance. The problem is that when it comes time to grow up, people of that ilk cannot exist in a world where you're maturing, you're growing, you're moving away, you're doing stuff for yourself, and they don't understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it needs to be this low life existence, and if you move away, then it's you are hurting or doing something bad to them. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what?
And
you know, it's not even all that.
And I'm not even trying to justify it, but I also understand where that comes from now, like, having been maybe on both sides of all of the journey, you know? But at the same time, you know, like, yeah, like that, like, is weird because, everybody has to want to, like, take the ride themselves, you know? And if they don't want to take the ride.
In your situation, you were the one that moved away.
Yeah. He definitely didn't like me. Like, I've actually, maybe within the last, well, no, because COVID, but maybe a little over a year ago, I actually ran into Corey, ran into Marcus, and I actually drove Marcus. Marcus paid me to drive him to Austin because I was going to Austin anyway. And Corey, they both lived in Austin, but they came down for a trip. And Corey wanted to stay for
Marcus and Corey live in fucking Austin?
North Austin, yeah. One of them was one of them was doing tech stuff. Marcus was doing like some type of computer stuff, and Corey was getting more and more into I think art, like using the GI Bill, like so using like doing, you know, like graphic design type stuff, you know.
Good for him. Yeah.
I invited Corey to a music event, And it's funny, you could tell like he didn't necessarily like. I think he left early, like, and it was weird because it was one of those. And even he was looking at me like, "Yo, man, like, I don't think it's nothing special." And I talk to people now because if I'm in the right event in Austin, everybody does know me, right? So like every minute, someone would come up to me like, "Yo, hey," and sometimes I don't even know who these people are, and they know me, because I used to just do so much, But yeah, he was coming. He's like, "Man, yo, you like the king out here." It's like, well, I don't know about that because it's definitely not true. But it was just funny, and you could tell like it was unlike when I go to fighting games and I don't know nobody anymore. It was the opposite for him. I could tell like he wasn't the most comfortable there because he ain't know nobody there, and it's just loud and all kinds of shit. But it was just cool to hang out.
Is he from Detroit?
I don't recall all that. I really don't. I feel like that's definitely an important part of his journey.
I think he's a Lions fan. And I don't think you can just be a Lions fan unless you're from Detroit. No one subject themselves.
If you saw Barry Sanders, that shit that probably left a mark on you. If you saw Barry Sanders, that left a mark on me. I ain't never seen no man run like that. I ain't never seen no man run backwards to run forward. You know what I mean?
True. But I don't think anyone would subject themselves to that type of pain unless they were from Detroit.
Look, when we talk about love and blinders and emotion, right? I know it's 2021, but when you see the line, those Lion fans probably still see Barry out there. They probably wondering why Barry don't run no more, but but they see Barry. They see Barry.
We gotta tag Corey in this as well and ask him, "Are you from Detroit?"
You better do all these tags, dude. You better make this list.
I don't know how you tag someone on Spotify. I don't think that's
a thing. You can't really do that. Just DM somebody. Make a social media post.
Let me do this host like trying to put shit back on track. So we're done with Vegas. Where did you go from Vegas?
Vegas.
This is gonna be like a 7-part episode.
This is what happens when you bring another podcaster on. You don't like.
I know. Yeah.
I'm trained to drag out stuff.
Like,
I'm just. Trained.
I didn't have an episode for like 7 weeks. So
this is it.
Like 7 weeks.
This is Zack Snyder's podcast. This is Zack Snyder's podcast. This is the vision he had. This is the vision he had.
Yeah.
Look, we'll even post a video. It'll be black and white and everything. Just like his.
Yes, absolutely. You're in Vegas. Eye of the Tiger starts playing. Lupe Fiasco treats you like an asshole, and then you leave. Where do you go?
Where do I go? Okay, I had an Airbnb in LA, and I meet this dude, and he's telling me I drove to driving to LA is a trip because I think the first time I'm driving out, you get that feeling like, I can't believe I'm doing this shit. I'm in LA. I'm in this special city, right? Quote unquote. Yeah. Because you outside looking in. Now I know the truth.
Hold on. Let me ask you. Yeah. So when you came from New York to San Antonio, you flew?
No. Yeah, I think we did the same thing we always do. And this is where I get it. And it's not to blame my mom.
You did some poor Bronx people shit with a rice cooker.
So, every time, because my sister came out here first, every time we would come out here, we took the Greyhound bus. And that shit takes 2 days.
Yeah, that's really bad. That's worse than driving.
And you know what's crazy? It is worse than driving. And you know what's crazy?
And it's probably more expensive.
Maybe, I know. And you know what? In retrospect, maybe. Like really, with inflation, who really knows, right? But right. I do remember my mom saying it. But at that point, I'm under 18, so I'm not going to argue my mom. If you say so, if this is cheaper, this is better, whatever. But it was 2 days, and just thinking how old my family was, but my grandma did that shit, and my aunt did that shit.
Holy shit!
And my aunt's 90 now, so I gotta think they were like in their 80s, and my grandma was older when she did that. So it's just like I can't believe they did that.
Migrated,
old
like the great Puerto Rican migration. we gotta get to Texas.
You know what? Real quick, you know what I wanted to say, because I know. He who shall not be named, who got named already, got talked about.
Yeah.
That Yeah, yo, one of the it wasn't the first, but one of the first podcasts we do not about Street Fighter was fucking Chatwick, right?
Hey,
And
okay. Oh yeah. So we're gonna call him Voldemort from now on this podcast.
Voldemort, yo, every Friday, which is funny because now I do a podcast on Twitch streaming every Friday, but the first podcast on Twitch streaming every Friday was Chatwick. But last year,
with yours truly and
yeah,
Voldemort.
yeah. And I would semi be on, depending. You know, sometimes I wouldn't be on. Sometimes I would hit record and stream and go do something.
Yeah.
I was just
you
the
would
sound
just
guy.
press record and go fucking eat pizza.
Yeah. Yo, because that was the beginning of my indulgence of
Yes.
of like, and back then I had the fitness to do it. Now I actually get full of shit because I'm not active. You know,
You don't have the calories to burn now.
Yeah, but yo, I brought that up because last June I did like having it out there, but last June was a big in the not just it was kind of in all the internet worlds I flirt with, but in particular, even the fighting game world, the famous one, not the San Antonio one. Like it was a lot of like kind of Me Too sexual harassment stuff coming out, and like not just the normal women one too, like men, all kinds of shit were coming out, Smash, but all the shit. And I was looking back, and it's like, yo, I'm kind of proud we did this shit, but every episode of Chatwick I made private, so they're still on there, but they're all I was like, I don't remember what you guys said, but I know like there's some real talk on there. And I did the same thing even for the fighting game shows. I got rid of all of them except, not again, but I got rid, just made them private because it's still nice to have. But unless there was a real guest on there, those were the only ones I left public were the guest.
Right.
Because yeah, I was like, you know, I'm like, I don't know, man. People like to judge the past, and it's like, I was like, especially with Chatwick, I was like, I know there's some raw shit on there. I was like,
we were pretty bad, but I mean, if you think about it, just think about the way that the world has changed since then. Like everything has become so incredibly sensitive. So the people that we were back then has changed just because of the times and just because of how everything is.
yeah,
I mean,
man.
really, we were very, very raw back then. And the only way that you can get away with that is if you're a super famous comedian. And we were not super famous comedians. We were just saying crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
No,
I really
and
cannot
that
even
could
imagine.
still work.
It could, yeah.
But the thing
If
is,
you had Voldemort on your podcast.
oh no, not that. What I just mean being raw. I don't know if that could work at all. But what I meant to say is more like, but if you build, and I don't even, and by brand, I don't even mean like being famous. Like even if your brand is just like you working, right? Just your normal work life. Like if your brand is known for that, and then somehow that pops up, like, oh, you did this podcast. People might just judge you for it now. Like, I don't think you should work. I don't think you should drive for us no more, even though it has nothing to do with any of it, you know?
Absolutely nothing to do with your job production or who you are as a person. Really, it doesn't.
And it's the past, so you might not even be that person. That just might be like literally a marker of where you were at that time, and unfortunately, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got rid of that shit. I figured like, so the channel's still there, but yeah. And you know what? I still have maybe 1 to 3 episodes. I don't know. I don't feel like checking. But like 1 to 3 episodes that have never come out. That in my head, I was like, yeah, I'll post it one day, just not edit it. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen just because, because, I don't know, laziness and, you know, it's hard to do everything. But it is funny. Yeah. Like I still have some unreleased material for the millions and millions of Chatwick listeners.
the podcast that made us famous. Yeah.
I feel like you listened to it more than anybody because you would always hit me up maybe like once a year, like, yo, what's the link? Because you wanted to hear it for whatever reason.
No. The thing is that I've never listened to any of them. I maybe listened to like one episode, and the reason is that I always type in Chatwick and I can't ever find anything. So that's why I end up hitting you up like, yo, where are these episodes at? Because, you know, I'm driving and I'm just like, I want to go listen to where I was at fucking 6
Let me see if I can find
ago.
the channel. Yeah, it definitely don't pop up. Because it's not posting nothing new. That's what makes it probably hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down like a mother. I ain't finding shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you Google it, you can't find it. That's the reason why I hit you up like once a year. Like,
Now it
yo,
might be
where's
really
this shit
hard
at?
because they're all private. So now it's really not gonna go.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, so you're
I
driving
drive
to
to
Los,
LA.
are
Yeah,
you
I drive
driving
to
to LA?
LA,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of like this dope feeling. Like yo, I'm only 4 hours away driving through the dirt of Vegas. You leaving that shit, and then you driving through Cali. There's already traffic. I'm in nowhere land, but there's already like 18 wheelers getting in my way. And then I'm in real traffic, so that means I'm in real LA. But I get to where I stayed in it starts Echo Park. I stayed in Echo Park. I think I end up staying 1 or 2 more times in that same spot. I probably should have just booked it because it was a nice middle location for LA. I just picked that out of a blue. You know why I picked Echo Park? There's a song I like called Echo Park. The artist is called Echo Park, and somebody made a remix of it. It's just so old.
That's a real fucking thing.
Dubstep thing, dubstep remix of it, and
Oh, Jesus.
I was like,
you electronic music motherfucker.
I remember just always driving to Austin every Friday night and hearing that song. It's a good time. So I was
of course you did.
Yo, man. Because here, a quick baby side story. There was a point where I worked at Wells Fargo, yo, and I would work Monday through Friday, and then
really
Friday.
Wait. What did you do at Wells Fargo? Hold up, what the fuck?
It was mortgage stuff. The vault.
Did you work at the actual bank? Or
No,
did you work at like the
mortggage.
the center? You worked at the center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Monday through Friday, and then Friday night I would go stay with the boy Leroy. Who ended up being a semi-famous EDM guy, by the way. He was on Armin van Buren's label, and he was on Paul Van Dyk's label. He opened up for Paul Van Dyk, this guy.
Were you making music already at this point?
Yeah, but not like him. I don't do EDM. I didn't do that EDM. I never blew up like that. But
so what the fuck did you do?
We just hung out, man. I did normal Austin go out. Did you? Probably beats. I was doing beat battles around this time and all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting into it. But yo, from Friday to like Sunday morning, I would stay in Austin. I literally only worked in San Antonio around this time period. It was trippy. I don't even know why I brought that up. It just it had to do because with the Echo Park.
EDM,
that's why. But yo, the guy I was staying with, maybe people lie, but I like to think they're telling the truth. The guy I was staying with in the Airbnb in his house, he claimed to be the sign guy for Jay Leno during the Tonight Show, and he was telling me his stories and stuff. Like the guy who owns the cue cards, so people know what to read. Yeah. So he was that dude. And then he would shit on Jay Leno, how he's a horrible person, and I guess he. I don't know if any of that's true or not. I'm just,
I mean, with what happened to Conan O'Brien, I'm totally with that fucking shit.
Yeah, that shit's pretty crazy. Props to Conan. Like, he made life work for him, right? But
he did.
In terms of pop culture, that definitely changed his where he would have been.
Dude, his trajectory was greatest of all time, and then it was just like, oh, fuck you. And he got completely fucked because he was the only reason I even stayed up to watch any late night show was Conan O'Brien.
The classic one will always be, the original. Like, because they were able to be raw, masturbating bear. Like, you look that up, bear. I can't find no good footage of the masturbate. It's all VCR. NBC refuses to acknowledge the masturbating bear.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they refuse to acknowledge that entire existence. Do you remember the racist ghost that would show up and sing those racist fucking songs?
Oh shit! I have vague memories of this. I can't remember it in detail, but I'm like, he's not lying. This is true. This sounds like Conan.
No, he had like this old like NBC ghost that like died in the studio, and he would show up and sing songs, and they would be like misogynistic, like women are terrible, and he would sing like pro Hitler songs.
Damn,
and,
I keep getting all this Team Coco bullshit. Like they really be trying to hide like old school Conan and
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was too good for his own fucking time, man.
Man, that shit was crazy. I was in high school watching some of this shit, yo. Like,
Yes. That's what I'm saying, dude. He was the GOAT. He was the fucking GOAT.
That's crazy. Look at this. Look at these suggestions. Kevin Hart, Dolphins are racist.
Oh, Jesus Christ. See what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? They just completely erased real comedy, man.
At the same time, I'm going to look up Masturbating Bear one more time. It doesn't even, Google, YouTube won't even suggest it.
You.
It doesn't, see, the Masturbating Bear. Wow, there's an actual Team Coco clip from a year ago. The Masturbating Bear and Martha Stewart holiday special. Wow, so they actually acknowledged him.
Yeah, he had to save up for 7 years just to buy the fucking rights to it, probably.
Maybe, yeah. Because it is, I don't remember. Look, the other clip is from 3 months ago. Because when I went on my Masturbating Bear like YouTube thing, none of these Team Coco clips appear. So there's only 2 Team Coco clips, but this is way more than I was used to. So yeah, maybe like some of the rights. Sometimes it's like a 20-year thing or something. So maybe some of the rights
and the rights, yeah,
are coming back. So maybe they're bringing it back as a acknowledgement.
Maybe it's time to watch Conan again. Is he still on TBS or did that shit get canceled?
But I do know he kind of blew up again, like as a podcast.
He has a fucking podcast.
It was one of the top podcasts like of last year, definitely of last year or the last 2 years. Like, and I don't even think it's the show because sometimes people are lazy and they just audio their show.
They just
I think it was normal like interviews too. Like what's funny, it was probably to people, I never heard it, but I imagine it was probably interesting to people because like talk show interviews aren't real interviews. They're kind of scripted and they're quick and 5-minute, So
right.
I imagine it was probably like people's first long-term content, long form content. But yeah, his podcast did real well. It probably still does real well. Like, So yeah, he got one.
I did not know that.
Everybody who's some type of famous and needs to put out media does a podcast. That makes me not want to do it. Like I have a problem. This is one of my weaknesses is like if people are doing stuff, like I don't want to do it. And so like I definitely with the podcast, I definitely sometimes like think of that, but I do my own thing and I don't post the clips no more, and it's just like it's just whatever. We do it for us and whatever, I don't give a shit. But like if I kind of allow myself to think too much, like and think about the artist for whatever that is, I don't know if that's an insecurity or some shit. Whatever that is, it does come up, and it's like it's the same thing, like it might be like that's why I'm trying to like maybe get better at different parts of music because I'm like, oh my gosh, like everybody makes beats. Like I don't want to make beats. This shit's fucking is whack, and I know I listen to some of this stuff. So, and I know some of it is made in the same simple ways that I tend to not be a fan of. But it's just like if I see it too much or listen to it, it's like it makes me not want to do it. So I just pretend it don't exist or something. Because yeah, music making, I don't know. That's just a me thing. I don't know why I get to that point, but. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons.
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is the name of the podcast, just in case anyone is interested.
There you go. Look, free ad for Conan. Let's go.
Yeah. No free shout outs as the fucking boys on some Tennessee Titans players have a podcast that's pretty famous. And their fucking their quote is no free shout outs whenever they say anything. So no fucking free shout outs. I need a fucking check, Conan.
I don't know, it sound like you just gave it for free. You know what you sound like? And I ain't trying to shit on homeless people, but you sound like that dude who cleans my window even though I ain't asked you and now you want money. And it's like, I ain't asked you for this. I ain't asked you for that ad. Like, why you?
Hey, Conan. I got 6 listeners, and those 6 listeners now know about your fucking podcast. All right. but as soon as I followed it, this pop up on Spotify came up, and it was like, if you like this, you'll like literally with Rob Lowe, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna unfollow Conan's podcast now because fuck.
Yeah, it's
fuck bullshit.
It's like that. I try to leave stuff I try to my YouTube is blank because like the way I have it on my desktop, like it's literally it's just a bar. Because like for real, like all recommendations and everything, like they don't appear because I use some extension or some shit. But yeah, it's just this endless well of shit, you know. And there's a good in that there's, you know, the gates are down, whatever, the floodgates or whatever. But also like it's just too much to consume, and yeah, at a certain point, like right, whatever joy we get from consuming overtakes us, and now we just start consuming crap instead of good. I mean, even right now, yo, like this whole time, I think we're on WrestleMania 10 now. It's like, should I be watching this shit? Like, do I really need to see like Hulk Hogan and like I don't know, pick up Yokozuna? I think I just saw that while we were talking about Vegas earlier. You know,
I'm sure that was a big moment back in WrestleMania 10.
It was, but it's like, what? How is that gonna help me? Not that making money is the end all be all, but like, you know, how's that gonna help me in anything?
Right.
So I don't know.
All right, so you're in LA.
Yeah, we never gonna talk about. I'm gonna try to fast forward some of the stuff with the LA, because what would end up happening, that whole first trip was a thing. So wait, Thursday. Okay, so Evo starts. So I leave San Antonio Tuesday. I get to Evo Thursday, so I'm in Vegas till Tuesday. And then so I'm in LA for 3 days, and then I go down to, I don't even know what I did those 3 days, I'll be honest, but I go down to Oceanside to see my boy. Like this is the guy I do a podcast with, one of the guys I do it, and I've known him since first grade. It's the first time I've seen him since I left New York without telling anybody. Like, so first time since 2003, and he did military, so it was kind of cool to see him. And then I find out his birthday is like next week, so I end up going back there. But I'm visiting him on a Saturday, and I get this text message from Eric. Do you know Eric from the fighting games? It's always gonna go back to fighting games. Do you know Eric?
I mean, I might.
Yeah,
if I saw his picture, I might.
We're not like close or nothing, but he's a good dude. He teaches like I don't want to say MMA, but yeah, probably MMA. Like he teaches MMA right now, like striking and jiu-jitsu and stuff. But so yeah, he's like, yo man, like yeah, I am in SoCal. Like, you know, we don't talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, why are you hitting me up? And he's like, look man, I had a ticket to Comic-Con, but I'm sick. And my ticket's in San Diego, though, if you want it. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like so.
Dude, and for those who don't know, San Diego is the Comic-Con.
Yeah, like, the real one.
That's the real one.
San Antonio Comic-Con. San Antonio Comic-Con, where you get like the truck driver from Terminator, you know? Like he's like the stunt man. No offense to that dude.
I brought the props onto the set. Yeah, not that guy.
Yeah. And look, that guy helped. That guy's important, you know, but
he's important.
But I'm just saying, like, Arnold's at the San Diego one, you know?
Yeah, he's at the, he literally lives at the place they hold it at.
Yeah. Yo, so yeah, I end up going there on Saturday, and I end up in Hall H. I feel bad because I'm like, I'll leave my homie. Like, I came specifically to see him on the weekend, but I end up at Comic-Con on the weekend instead, every day. And it was crazy because I meet this girl at the hotel, and I'm like, in my head, I always wanted to memorize it just for future days, just to go to Comic-Con, because it looked like sort of like South by Southwest, and that you could probably still have a great time in that city without buying a ticket to Comic-Con. Because yeah, you won't go to Comic-Con, but there's so much shit, and the city's so alive that if you just like chaos of people, you know, you'll still have a great time. And I was like, because I didn't, you know, I'm staying in Oceanside, but in the other days I would go there, I would just drive to her hotel, and the city itself provides free buses in various places around the city, like color-coded buses that run, check out this insanity, Las Vegas, 24 hours. 24 hours, dude.
How crazy, right?
Yo, and in
a city that actually has a 24-hour fucking bus.
Yo, and it was something crazy too. Like, it had a set schedule, like, that was pretty hectic. Like, I think from the arena itself, I think they had buses leaving every 10 minutes, but past midnight, it became every 30 minutes. And I was like, even that I could work with. Every 30 minutes, that's dope, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yo, man, that shit, yeah, like, so you still kind of parking far from downtown, but you know how downtowns be, especially during fucking Comic-Con. All downtowns are stupid when it comes to parking.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I end up at Hall 8s, and I got to see, the only Hall 8s I saw was the only one I wanted to see, because I didn't know he was even going there. I think that was the year maybe they showed Justice League trailer, the bad one, not the one that came out. But only person I saw was Kevin Smith, because you know, you probably, I don't know if you heard me talk, but like I love Kevin Smith. That's my G. So I got to see him live. I've seen Kevin Smith not only live in San Diego Comic, I've seen him live in like every city in Texas. Yo, San Antonio.
Okay, so
all of them shits.
Okay, let's take a break. Top 3 Kevin Smith movies.
Oh shit, I gotta whip it out. Cause I would almost be like, honestly, so you want, right? I'm never gonna stop telling stories. I flew to New York. I don't know if it was before or after when Red Bull flew me out there, but I flew to New York to visit. Yeah, it's before. This is a long time. This is like the first time I visit New York, maybe, since I moved. And it was so like, I remember walking in my neighborhood and I felt this feeling that I've never felt before in my life, and my heart was beating, and I was like, I shit you not, it sounds like a joke setup, but I was like, is this fear? Like, is this what they is this what they always talk about New York being a scary place? Like, because it's crazy.
Growing up in the fucking Bronx.
Yeah, because I guess you're feeling it, but you don't understand that that's not normal. So it wasn't until I lived in Texas that now when I went back in contrast and I'm walking in some of these neighborhoods, like, oh, I get it. Like, this is not good. This is not
yeah, this isn't a good thing.
But I remember I'm staying at my old father's place. My brother was living there, I guess illegally under my father's name, you know, like, and all kinds of shit. It's all kinds of shit. So I'm staying at his apartment, right? And at night, I stumble onto this fat guy talking. And the fat guy it was Kevin Smith's first ever speaking special, where he's just talking. And he's going around colleges just talking about he's telling these crazy stories about how he almost wrote Superman, all kinds of shit. And I just left it recording because I was tired, and I woke up next day and I saw the whole thing. And I was like, yo, when I go back to Texas, I'm going to watch all these man's fucking movies. And I saw the movies and they were great. But I would almost argue, especially at this point, I was like, yo, top 3 Kevin Smith movies. I would just pick like podcasts. I was like, but to actually answer, I am going to bring it up, but it's probably all the classic era, right? Like the era probably ends with Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, right? That's probably the end. But
is that 3 or 1?
No, so it's not even, I don't even know if it's one of them.
Not even, oh, okay.
But what I mean is that, like, in terms of the classic stuff, the classic era, oh, these are comics. Damn it, where's the filmography? God damn. Yeah, the classic era is probably Clerks. Yeah, Clerks to Jay and Silent Bob. There's only 5 movies, so it's like I'm gonna pick 3 out of those 5 movies. You know, like.
So it's not the Walrus movie. That's not in your top 3.
I saw that. I saw the Walrus movie. Yeah, all these Kevin Smith movies.
I love Jake Long. But...
I saw Tusk. They did a live pre-screening at a draft house, so I saw that. Like, yo, I drove to New York. I drove to Austin to see Red State when they were like taking it on the road. The same thing for Yoga Hosers, which not so good. Same thing for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Like, I would just always go. I fuck with the Kevin Smith hard. Like, but Chasing Amy is probably number 1. Chasing Amy is probably I made a song.
He sampled it in my favorite aLr boosh song.
Oh, you know it. So you know it?
Are you fucking joking me? It's the only reason we're friends.
No, because that song...
I knew that song before I knew you.
Because that song is... Because now... Yeah, because... All right, because... Back then in that era when we first meet, that's the SoundCloud era, so you would hear the real version. That song is on Spotify, but the sample is not there because I'm not trying to get sued. You know?
No, I think I heard it on YouTube.
Yeah, see,
That's
so
it.
it was on YouTube. It's not on there no more because I wanted to move it to my current channel, but I just haven't moved it to my channel.
Okay.
So I have to re-upload it. But yeah, like in terms of the official world we live in, most people haven't heard that version anymore because the "I love you" speech. Yo,
Yeah.
I
So
played that for the
you
girl I made it
sampled
for.
it,
I played that for the girl I
and
made
what
it
did she
for.
say? What did she say? How did she react?
While I was sitting in the car with her, I'm like, these are the things we do that now looking back, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, what did you want? You know, what did you want? Like, I know what I wanted, right? You wanted the dream girl, like to I don't know,
For her
appreciate
to
you
fall
somewhere.
in love with you right in that moment and
Yeah,
just be like, yes, because you made this, now we're gonna get married and
yeah,
have kids.
yeah, some crazy shit. But I think she said, and the way she talks, yo, the way she talks. Probably even to this day, if you heard her talk about me, I'm the GOAT. I'm the like, the way she describes me, I'm the GOAT of life. I don't even know if she's met me the way she describes me. I was
Right. Yeah.
But nah, she said she appreciated it and like real nice and stuff. That whole thing, that whole it's a very sad friendship we had because I definitely was enamored with her. Like obviously, like crazy when we first met, but it goes in reverse order. By the time she's into me, I finally start to move on, you know? And
Yeah.
I think when you fast forward to now, yo, Bill, is that Bill Clinton at WrestleMania? What? I'm sorry. I was like, that better be a lookalike. Cause I'm like, I was like, why is Bill Clinton sitting next to the IRS wrestler? That doesn't even make sense. Anyway, my bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, like by the time she's into me, I'm kind of like moving on, and like I don't know, you emotions take over, so I didn't really do nothing. And the last time we hung out, man, like it was sad because I couldn't even see her because I was so lost in the depression of that girl in Dallas, you know.
Yeah.
And at this point, I kind of like banned her because I just feel like it's maybe just an unhealthy friendship, you know, like for me, I can't speak for her, but for me too. And you know what, like I don't know what I give off to, but like I mean, I could take it more now, but in that moment, just you know, I probably was unemotionally available because she was just like hitting me with these things that are happening to me in her life that I had never heard from her before, and I was like, yo, why do people feel the need to just like to just unload like their most horrible stuff? And you know, like a lot of times the girls we like have had just some terrible stuff happen to them, you know, and I was just like, why are they just telling me like this horrible stuff, you know, like we don't really hang out like that or nothing or talk no more, and like why do you feel the need to even tell them? Because at that point I just couldn't take it, you know. But yeah, man, that's just crazy. Chasing Amy is probably the number one though. It's just yeah, man. Like I think he at this point he would describe it as super unrealistic, right? Because you're trying to convert a lesbian to straight, you know. So I think some people might have been offended by that at the time, but yeah, it's still like a really crazy love story. And then it's kind of like I barely remember it now, but also like. Right, like how sometimes, right, the impossible does happen, right? For some of these girls, we pedestal so hard. You do want them, but you want it so much that when it comes to you, you don't know what to do and you fuck it up. You know, like so,
right?
Because he does actually do the impossible, and he does get the girl. And what does he do? He's so insecure, pulls away.
But it also, I mean, to that same thing, it also turns out that she wasn't fully lesbian. Like she had sex with men. You know what I mean?
I
And
barely remember it, so yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what it was. So it was she was a lesbian, and it doesn't let on that she had ever had any experience with men. And then he wins her over and they're dating and everything's good. And then he finds out that she has actually had sex with men before in the past. And that's what ends up ruining their relationship. So in today's climate, that movie would probably be fucking batshit crazy. But it really, but oh my god, that movie is fucking amazing. But let's not go. Okay, what would be 2 and 3?
Out of these, you know what? So I'm surprised I'm even playing this game with you, because usually I'm very like I'm a 0-1 guy. I'm like good or bad. I'm not really like numerical. But I guess if I really got to pick, I'm like Clerks. Mallrats is pretty powerful too, man. But like I might pick Clerks and then Dogma, just because those are some crazy journeys. Those movies,
Right.
So yeah, Clerks and Dogma.
But Clerks 1 or 2?
Oh, stop it! Stop it! It's only there's 1, dog. 2 is funny too, but 1, it's really 1. It's really 1. I'm not supposed to be here today. I'm not supposed.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we continue, since we're on this subject, just give me your top 3 Tarantino films, just because that's a question I asked everyone.
Oh my gosh, I actually have to look this up, because I know he's special, but I don't really pedestal him like that.
He only has 8. He only has 8, so just choose 3 of them.
And this guy's talking about retiring
it's just a
and all
question
kinds of shit. What the fuck? Retiring at 10.
Well, he's a psychopath. It doesn't fucking matter.
What happened to that speech he's always given about, like, it would be a shame to not make, like, another Kill Bill style movie because now he knows how to make it, like...
Well, because he's a psychopath.
Damn, yo, so first off, I got once again tricked into going to the theater to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh my gosh. That is not my movie. That is not something I don't understand the point of that movie. That movie.
Okay, well, I will say this: that movie is really slow. It's a really slow movie.
So now, like I said, it's real hard for me to hate on stuff.
I didn't hate it.
Like far removed, because I let it go. But the one thing I think slowly is starting to come back, and I think to me there was no real like story-ish type things. Like I could be wrong on it, but basically it was like the movie is the romanticism and the love for old Hollywood, old LA, but in terms of maybe what you would expect from a normal story, protagonist and all those things, those don't really exist in the movie, It's really more like the moment, and it's a long ass fucking moment. Yo, like Harley Quinn in that movie, I don't know her role in that movie. She's just kind of there, like she didn't really have a thing to do. She's just kind of like, yo, let's just put good actors in this movie for reasons, like oh shit. Because I'm looking here, I'm like, I want to pick some stuff I really, really like, and I'm looking here, and I'm like having problems, and I'm like,
pick 3.
I'm like, yo, number 1, this might be
just pick 3 of them.
Yeah, number 1 might be, maybe this is biased from where I come from, but like Django Unchained is number 1. Easy.
Is that your favorite movie?
I mean, if I have to pick a favorite, it's probably that one.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna probably go Kill Bill. 1, not 2. I know 2 is important. I probably need to see both of them. I probably need to see them as an adult to appreciate them better, but 1 probably had what I was looking for back then, more than 2.
Yeah.
And then, man, I need to see Pulp Fiction as an adult, because as a child, I don't know if that thing registered with me. Because it's just like I barely remember anything. Like I don't know. Like the me that exists has definitely never seen Pulp Fiction. You know what I mean? Like the me currently, I'm like,
yeah, for sure.
But I'm like, a part of me wants to like, do I even want to pick Inglourious Bastards? Like I probably want to pick the intro of Inglourious Bastards. And then Pulp Fiction as a tie. Just those first 5 minutes, where that guy acts and they kill the people on the floor. That's really all I want from Inglourious Bastards, is just those first 5 minutes. That was a really powerful scene. I don't know if I need the rest of the movie, but that scene was dope.
Yeah.
I'll probably pick, and definitely not Death Proof. I don't need that. That was the car, right? Is that the car movie with Snake Plissken? Is Death Proof the car movie?
Which one?
Yeah, Death Proof is the car movie.
Oh yeah, that's the car movie.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, it's probably Pulp Fiction then. We'll probably just do Pulp Fiction. A nice default. Definitely about more Django Unchained.
Your movie, even though it's like, I mean, your list, even though it's completely put together from the air, isn't too bad. Shows me you have a real grasp on cinematography.
If I were to see them, I might pick different. If I were to see, I remember the
Yeah, you should rewatch them for sure.
The presentation of one was like, I just like kind of like this whole like, I don't know, chapter thing. Part 2, you know, has some type of thing, but I don't know. These are just all memories too. These are not things I've seen at all.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Do you like Wes Anderson?
Let me look him up.
Because you got me started on directors, so that's why I'm
Look,
on
man,
this
let's
film.
just talk Chris Nolan.
About,
that's the real goal, all right?
No,
let's just talk Nolan.
We're talking about LA, okay? So you were in LA, so we got started on this fucking director.
The Isle of Dogs guy. That's what Wes Anderson. Where's his movies? What movie of his am I supposed to care about? I've not. Probably Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Not the Dogs fucking movie, but he had plenty of movies before
Fantastic
that.
Mr. Fox, right? People like that, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I have not seen this guy's movies.
Okay.
I know he's a G.
Forget that I even brought him up then. You disrespectful piece of shit.
Tom Bombs. These are, you know what these are? These are the movies that come out, and I jokingly say this, but there's a truth to it. These are the movies that come out in November so that they can win an award. They can win it.
You shut your fucking mouth.
It's true. It's true. When Fantastic Mr. Fox came out. Oh, November 13th. Ain't that some shit? When did the Grand Budapest come out? Let's see. All right. This one had no chance. Came out on March 7th. He was like, I ain't playing this game with the Grand Budapest. When did the Darjeeling Limited come out? October 26th. Yeah, fall. It's always fall, so I can get that award. The Royal Tannenbaums, December 14th. Look, 3 out of the 4 movies I picked, you know, came out in fall, so they could win that prestigious Oscar, Golden Globe,
look,
whatever.
You want to live in LA, so you need to learn these tactics. All right.
Yeah, drop your shit in fall.
So you're in, yes. So you're in LA.
Yeah, I don't know. Comic
Where
book.
do you go from LA?
I was in the Comic Con weekend. That weekend was dope. That weekend.
Did you read comics growing up?
Yeah, no, like definitely not serious like the real heads do, but I definitely bought them and looked at them. You know, like and liked them. I definitely.
So what was your?
I definitely bought 2 or 3 copies of The Death of Superman, the real one. You know, with the white paper bag and all of that. You know.
So were you a DC guy or?
I think growing up, a lot of my community, my people, we were all Marvel heads, but we like Batman and Superman. You know, we like the big boys from DC, but it was definitely tough to get into. To get into DC, you probably need to be an actual reader of comics, and at that point, we were just too young. We just saw Marvel doing the cool shit. Knowing more what I know now, right, and how all those people went on to make Image Comics. Yeah, I mean, we're children, right? Like, why wouldn't we be Marvel heads? They were just doing the cool, in terms of visual aesthetic, they were doing the cooler shit.
Well, they made better characters. Marvel has better characters than DC. It's not even close. Outside of Batman.
I feel what you're saying, but a lot of that is subjective. And then, like, looking back, learning again the history I've known now, like, there's a lot of people that, like, this is stereotypes, so it's not, you know, 100% true. It's just stereotypes, right? I think the stereotype of that early 90s period might have been Marvel has the artist. The visuals is off the rock. It's crazy. But DC has the writers, you know? And they're a little bit maybe more adult themed. So if we're not really going to take the time to read. Man, I just looked up this dude the other day. Like, where the more famous Graham somebody. I'll find it again. But I think he killed Damien recently or something. But like, yeah, if we're not gonna take the time to read it at the level that maybe we have now, you know, we're probably gonna easily just pick Marvel. You know, at the time they just being that young, they had the cartoons. You know, they had everything. Like at that point, like what? Just like you said. Who had a visual presence but Batman and Superman at that point? And they were living off a 30-year legacy by then. Because Superman and Batman were on TVs in the 60s. You know what I mean? Like, so like...
Yeah, no, but think about it, though. What is a better story? Like, Batman has a great story. And Superman's story is cool, I guess. But who has a better story than Spider-Man and X-Men? Like, X-Men especially. But even Hulk and Thor is based off of all of fucking, like, Nordic fucking history.
Calm down. I'm pretty sure Hulk is not Nordic, but I know what you mean for everybody else.
I said Thor. I said Thor is based off of Nordic history.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Spider-Man's story is fucking incredible. X-Men's story is, like, the best story ever told. And that's not even including the rest of them, like Iron Man and Hulk and Thor and all that shit.
DC has, like, and these are things like I've learned older and not even read some of them, just kind of like reading and passing or just hearing about like the comic book writers themselves. DC has a lot of, like, I guess what would go on to be called graphic novels. A lot of these like one-off big like stories or these what-if stories. Like The Killing Joke, right? Written by Alan Moore and all those things.
Great. I read it. It's great. Yeah.
They have a lot of those. So like for going back to those old things, DC seemed to have just a lot of those stories. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of powerful stories on both parts. It just depends on which ones you read and who. And I think in the 90s, Marvel definitely presented it to our age group way better than DC did.
They did a much better job, and I think that's why they're killing DC. But it is what it is, man. I just like a good story when I hear it. I don't care what it is. But I've heard great Superman stories. I've read great Batman comics. I've read great X-Men, Spider-Man. Daredevil has a lot of good comics. I mean, whatever. They're just all good stories.
Yeah.
People should read more comics.
Yeah, and probably of a certain time, because I don't even know if that'll continue.
Recently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that still a thing? People still read comics?
It sort of is, but I mean, like, look, like, yo, things are probably changing. I don't know if for better or worse, but like, yo, Kevin Feige on the Marvel side, I believe he's in charge of all Marvel now. Like, not just movies like he originally was, you know? Like, not, I mean, obviously he does TV now, but not just movies, not just TV, but the comics as well. And I'm like, well, if he runs everything, like, couldn't this be the first time where, like, now, almost like Japan and anime, like, depending on how certain things go and what source material is, but, like, the comics could literally follow the movies now for the first time if he's in charge of everything, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows what that's going to look like on the Marvel side. On the DC side, I don't know. Like, I don't follow the comic. Whatever comic news I hear is primarily from, like, the Kevin Smith podcast I hear, and some of the last DC stories to come up in terms of the comic book side of things. Thing in the last year, probably COVID didn't help, but yeah, a lot of people getting laid off on the DC side. And you mentioned that's why Marvel is I think Marvel is killing them because Marvel is I mean this in sort of jest, but like a real company in that they have a vision. They're unified. They're real. They have a vision because yes, they're owned by Disney, but they're also, it seems outside looking in, that they're allowed to do what it is they do.
Right.
And DC is also a real company, but also in the stereotype bad way, in that they're corporate and they're owned. They're not, DC don't exist, right? It's IPs
Right.
owned by Warner Brothers, right? And oh wait, Warner Brothers don't exist, right? Because they're all tethered to HBO, and really AT&T owns them, right? Oh, so like who owns who and what and all this fuckery, and like that's how you end up with this crazy shit. That you get like
Right.
two versions of Justice League, and I know that's not the full story, but I'm just saying. But like, look, check this out. This company, do you realize there was a moment in time where there was an HBO Go, an HBO Now, an HBO Max.
Like what the fuck?
Look, check this out. And then before some of those even existed, I don't remember what it was called, but DC itself had a DC app where you could see the DC material, right? Before HBO, but it got canceled because HBO Max came and, you know, they want to sucker the comic book people there, you know? So now it's only a comic book app. But yeah, there was a point in time where the DC universe also exists. And then Crunchyroll exists because Crunchyroll somehow this anime channel is somehow owned by AT&T, and it's like, so that's why when you go to HBO Max, there's a DC section and there's a Crunchyroll section. And it's like, you know, you guys all have subscription services, but if you had one meeting where you talk to each other, you probably could just have maybe 1 to 2 apps instead of 6 versions of like the same. It clearly looks like a company who, like, you know, in that corporate way where like, yo, people just don't communicate like appropriately. Like you heard about, you know, HBO Max dropping all their dope movies, right? On the channel, right? Like Wonder Woman and all that, right? Suicide Squad. You heard about this or not? Or like next week, Godzilla versus King Kong comes out in the theaters next week. But if you have HBO Max, you don't even got to go to the theater, right? So Legendary Pictures, I guess, like the people who like produce or make King Kong, and maybe 2 or 3 of the other movies that are coming out this year, they sued them for a minute because AT&T announced that, hey, our 17 movies are just going to go to HBO Max instead of the movie theater. And I guess the 3 that belonged to them, they were like, yeah, that wasn't in our contract. Like, we don't want that. We want it in the theater. But you see, AT&T decided this, but then HBO Max, the you know, the more Hollywood side was like, yeah, now people are mad at us, but then AT&T is like, yeah, that's your problem. You handle the people, right? We just make decisions. And it's like, yo, no one's talking about nobody. No one's like it's just like, look, we want money, all right? This seems like it'll make us money. You deal with the fire that we just started. You know, it just seemed like people are not talking to each other. And to be fair, I'm sure if 5 Marvel movies bombed, maybe they would have their similar corporate issues. But, you know, in this world where Marvel was bankrupt, gambled its history on Iron Man, and then got bought out by Disney, like, yo, seriously, that's all true. Like, they get to, quote unquote, you know, sort of own themselves. And it feels like DC isn't really unified. It feels like, you know, certain people like Zack Snyder they try to have a vision. And then people are like, yo, this vision's crazy, and they take it right away, you know, like, because they're not a real company, you know, they're an IP. So, like, there's people there, you know, but you know what I mean? It just, they don't seem like they're going to be left alone. That's how you end up with 3 Batmans at once. All kinds of crazy shit. How we got Twilight Batman and Batfleck and Michael Keaton all at the same time about to happen. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of crazy shit are happening. Like you heard that Flash movie's gonna have like Michael Keaton in it, which I'm happy. I want to see Michael Keaton in there, but also Batfleck's in there. Like, so you have concurrently Twilight Batman working on a movie while Zack is working on a movie that is not canon, right? So now you got Zack Snyder, 4-hour The Godfather Justice League type shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lot of crazy shit happening, you know? Like, then you got Superman, but you also Man of Steel Superman, right? Whatever, Henry Cavill. But then you also have Superman and Lois on CW. Then you also have a different actor playing Flash on CW. It's what? Like, it's like 4 different Flashes and like 5 different, you know, like what are we doing? Do you not have? You know what? You know what you told me? Like, yo, who else do they have but Batman and Superman? Clearly, they think the same thing. Who else do they have but Batman? They don't realize there's other comic book characters. So it's a crazy company, man. It is a crazy ass company.
Because there's 2 DC characters to sell, and that's it, man.
But you see, look, like in a world where Marvel created goodwill, right? They dropped Guardians of the Galaxy, was only the hardest of the hardest nerds knew who the fuck that was, you know, comic book people. Yeah,
but look what they did with it, though.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is,
love
you could do that too with DC people, if you would pick one, take a chance.
If they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, and it don't seem
If
like
they knew
that.
what they were doing.
It don't seem like.
There's literally 6 characters in Guardians of the Galaxy that I would rather see than the main characters of fucking DC. Think about that. Think about that. That's a fucking like off fucking brand of Marvel.
But it's because they at this point they've bought so much goodwill from you. You trust them. You trust them to put good shit, and it's hard to say that with Warner Brothers because it's kind of helter skelter over there. It's very inconsistent. Right. And even the stuff that's done well financially, I don't like. I know some people like, but I ain't like that Aquaman movie. That's just trash. But it made $1 billion. But it made $1 billion, so that's a success. Like, and you see, like that's how they're judging stuff there. Like, if it's a success, it's a success. You know, like if it makes money, so it's like we're gonna get more stuff in that way. We're gonna get Need for Speed 2, the Aquaman saga. You know, like so. Because it's made by one of those Need for Speed directors, you know.
Of course it is. Put a handsome Samoan in the fucking thing. Girls will flock to the.
Well, to be fair, that's Zack Snyder. He cast Aquaman, but I'm just saying the actual Aquaman movie. He cast the actor of Aquaman, not the movie. But what I'm saying is, those initial people he casted, but that actual movie, was directed by one of those Need for Speed directors, you know.
That's fucking terrible. I mean, Wonder Woman wasn't terrible. Did you like Wonder Woman?
Part 1. But look, check this out.
Yeah, Part 1.
Check this out.
I wasn't talking about anything.
Part 1 has 3 writers. You know who one of the writers is on Part 1?
Who?
Zack Snyder. You know who was the single writer of Wonder Woman 2?
Who?
Patty Jenkins, the director. Now, here, let me ask you something like this. Let me ask you some crazy shit. Some of this is semi-controversial to say in a PC world we live in. But how on earth?
Say it.
How on earth does Patty Jenkins, right, a woman, right, who is, you know, to quote unquote poke some fun, probably the only reason Wonder Woman was good because we had a director woman, right? But how on earth? First off, Shawn Michaels and Burt Reynolds are on WrestleMania right now. This is wild. This is wild.
Everybody go watch the video of this episode. Because,
no, I'm not streaming. I'm not restreaming WrestleMania. I'm just showing my facial reactions.
Okay.
But I'm trying not to get banned, even though no one's watching. There was one guy who was angry that I wouldn't talk to him. He was talking to me in Spanish. I think he called me gay in Spanish. I think, or
dirty
something.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, something like that, like a dirty parrot or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, like how the irony of it being 2021 PC and we're pro minority and pro female and all that. So you got a female director, right? You got a female lead because it's Wonder Woman, right? You got a female villain. You got a female writer because it's also the director's vision now because she's the writer. Can't get nobody in the way. How on earth did we make Wonder Woman 2 entirely about Pedro Pascal, a man? How? How on earth did any of that happen? How on earth? That movie should be called Pedro Pascal featuring Wonder Woman and Cheetah. How on earth did that happen? There's so much stuff, like, and again, you needed to talk to me that weekend for me to give you like accurate detail, but that is one thing I did not forget. How on earth did you have all this possible stuff and you gave it to Pedro Pascal? And also, shout out to Pedro Pascal's agent. Oh my gosh, Wonder Woman, the Mandalorian, and the Spy Kids thing all in the same month? Jesus.
Right? Shit, holy fuck.
The Luke Skywalker episode, everything all happening at once. Like, this guy's a G. This guy probably only showed up to one episode of film Mandalorian 2. You know, he just did the voice and all the other ones. But in episode 8, he's like, wait, we got Luke in there? I'm going to be there. Don't worry. I'm going to show up. You know, I'm going to take off the mask. I'll take off the mask off. But seriously, like, how do you let that happen? How do you let Wonder Woman be about this dad who, I guess, again, you know, like poking fun at the minority thing? Pretty sure Max Lord is probably a white guy, but, you know, Spanish now, whatever. But I mean, I don't really care too much, but it just, I hate superheroes, especially when they're god tier superheroes. Wonder Woman's a god, you know.
Yeah, she's god tier.
You can see that shit in the fucking Zack Snyder Justice League, yo. Oh my gosh, yo.
But see, I think that's another reason that's wrong with DC. like Superman is god tier and it's boring.
The entire Justice League, the real one, the comic book one, at their full powers, each member is godlike. Yes, it is a bit hell. It is crazy. It is even Batman. There's a joke with Batman when you write Batman, like if you write him a certain way because he's a man, right? That some people like to poke fun, like, oh yeah, this is not Batman. This is the Bat God. Because, you know, he's a man who's somehow just manipulating all these events to somehow work in his favor, you know? But I'm always disappointed because I judge movies a bit harsher because movies are 2 hours, kind of, right? Unless you're Zack Snyder, they're 2 hours, right? Like, movies are 2 hours, but somehow, so I kind of, you need to give me the best of their best stories. You know, you don't give me everything because it's 2 hours, right? So when you pick like a god like Wonder Woman and you give me their villain, not just a man, but a man, like literally a man. Now I'm not criticizing his sex, like male, female. I'm criticizing that he's a man. This man goes to a job, you know, I don't want a man. I want a super powered individual. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want. How is Wonder Woman gonna solve the plight of corporate America if they have wishes? You know, like what? Like you know what I mean? Like, I want a real villain, you know. And Superman had that same problem too, man. Where they would Lex Luthor's dope, but you need to have them. You need to tell the right Lex Luthor story, and you know, Christopher Reeves and post Christopher Reeves, where we were doing Christopher Reeves impersonations. A story about real estate? That's not what I need to see Superman fight. Real estate? Really, dog? Like, real estate?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, so, like, those are... Yeah, that Wonder Woman 2 is a big mystery. I would ban her from writing. She could direct it. Yo, Duke money in the house. Let's go.
Yo, I found out how to do it.
You rich now?
Shut the fuck up. Did you break the whole fucking system, Duke?
Nah, but I found it like a couple hours ago, but it was fairly easy. You do scan it and buy it.
So wait, so what are you doing now? Are you so wait, what did you do on this? So what are you doing on you just you doing stuff for Vic, so you're not even trading or nothing yet, right?
Nah. So what I'm doing right now is I'm uploading his pictures and I'm selling his pictures.
Okay. Are you doing auctions or are you just selling them?
I'm just selling them for now. I didn't get that far yet because I was.
Well, you pick a price. I'm curious. What's the price for a Vic pick?
So he got a couple of them. He got one for $250. He got one for $100. One for
$250. $250.
Yeah, $250.
Like Ether though, right? Ether.
Yeah, Ether. Ethereum.
Damn. But did you make the sale yet or no? Or is he just put them up?
We just put them up. We didn't. Nobody has.
Do he got a following on his Insta or nah?
I think he might. I never really looked at that. It's funny.
Cause yeah, you can maybe promote it there. I don't know if I didn't even know Vic did art till like last week or so like
yeah, he's pretty good at the digital stuff.
Cause yeah, man, like digital is definitely the. You been playing with NFTs at all, Corey? It's just crypto. It's the new crypto hotness. Have you been playing with?
Yeah. So every week I just buy my idea of it is I just buy Doge.
Oh, that meme coin?
Yeah, the meme coin. So because my thing is it's only worth 5 cents. So I'm just gonna buy a fuck ton of it, and if it ever goes up, then I'll be a millionaire. And if it doesn't, then who fucking cares?
Are you really doing that?
Yeah, no, I'm really doing that. And the rest of but all of my real investments go into IRAs and my fucking saving account and all of that shit. But I buy like depending I put a certain amount of my weekly pay into other stocks, and I just buy low, and if they go high then I sell them. But every week I put a fuck ton of money into Doge, because what people don't realize is that shit went from went from a fraction of a cent up to 5 cents, and I already made thousands of dollars just off of that. So if it ever goes up to $1, or
Yeah.
if it goes up
You
to ten
retiring? You
dollars,
retire?
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done forever. If it goes to, dude, literally, if it goes up to $1, I'm done forever. And it's already it literally went from 0.0002 to 5 cents, and I made thousands of dollars. So
Yeah.
so fuck it. If it goes up to $1, I'm done.
That's it. One more year, and one more. All you gotta do is work one more year. You good? You good?
That's it. That's it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, dude, I was telling the epic story in 2016 when I drove around, America on the West Coast. Yo, I think that's the same year Red Bull flew me to New York, right?
Yeah.
Damn, 2016. I saw your ass. That's fucked up.
Yep.
That's fucked. You didn't make it to the rooftop party. That was Leon.
No, I didn't go.
Yeah. You made it to Leon's house.
Yo, so did you grew up with Abe here?
Yeah.
They fought for the last 4 for 4 at Wendy's.
Shush.
Yo,
What?
let me. Yo, Duke, do you remember how we met?
Uh,
I'm curious. I got some of the story. I don't know like the exact moment, but I got some of it in my head. I'll bless y'all with the origin right now.
I think it was through James.
Yo, really? Is that how we met? I was like, that's a completely different story. I'm like, I want to hear it. Like my neighbor, right? My neighbor, James?
James.
Dang. That's funny.
Me and James is super cool because James is in my class since like in first grade.
Damn, that would make sense. You know how I remember it? Let me tell you this shit, y'all. This is crazy. So I know I went to PS 182. I did kindergarten. That's how I meet Leon and them.
Yeah.
But I'm in like a totally different age group, and this is how I remember it in my head. So a lot of this is probably wrong, but it's just fractions of being right. But somehow I'm playing outside, and some of these names you escape me. But you remember like Joseph, but I want to say white Joseph, but I know he's Spanish. But like remember that Joseph? All these people kind of douches, like kind of like shitty people. But you remember like Spanish Joseph? You remember Josh? I think his name was Joshua, where people didn't like to play with him because of ringworms. All these kids.
Yeah.
Yo, so it was kind of like rolling with those heads, rolling with that whole age. And there's a few other dudes who they names I never know, but like they're just people I ain't like. Somehow we playing. I don't know how it happens, or maybe like I don't know. Man, I freaked out. Yo, I threw a rock at Joseph's head. I threw a rock, and I know somebody wasn't happy, and I was scared for my life. So I stayed upstairs for like, in my head, like generations, for years. I don't know. I stayed upstairs for a long time because I was afraid to come downstairs. And then one time I came outside, and I feel like I saw you and like I guess y'all crew, whoever it was. I don't know who it was at the time, but like I guess y'all age group. And I feel like I meet y'all, and then I feel like because I threw a rock at this kid's head, I feel like I skipped a generation of people who hung out outside because I was afraid to get jumped. And that's how, in my head, that's how I ended up hanging out with y'all. That's how.
Wow.
Nah, but you know what's crazy, Corey? Is like, yo, throwing rocks at people's head it's always stories, because that's the same shit with you and Leon. There's always people getting rocks
some
thrown at
shit
their heads.
Y'all do in New York, I guess.
They ain't a lot outside. Back in that version outside, barely a playground out there.
It's probably really hard to find a rock.
Yo, that shit was a commodity, dude. That was a commodity. Yo, it was on Wall Street. It was oil, gold, and rocks. It was
Oh.
But yeah, no, that's how I remember that shit. I haven't talked to Aziz in a while, yo. But when I talk to Aziz, I hear him talk about me, and I'm like, yo, I swear we ain't hang out that much. But yo, the version that you have of me, I'm like, it's like completely different life. I feel like he's living in the alternate universe. So I was like, I told you know, the last time. Want to know? I remember somehow, yo, this is gonna sound crazy, Corey, but one of the last times I talked to Aziz, like 4 a.m. in Alabama, and y'all both know I don't live in Alabama. Y'all both know.
Let's not talk about Alabama, bro. You know that's just gonna break my heart.
Yo, I think I was in line. Again, this is crazy. It's 3 or 4 a.m. McDonald's, and I get a call on Facebook Messenger, and it's Aziz. And wow. I think he asking me for Street Fighter advice because he remembered me beating Phil. And I'm like, yo, I ain't even played that shit in years. What the fuck you talking about? He was high as fuck, obviously.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, but that's one of them stories. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was crazy. The conversation was crazy. I'm in Alabama. This McDonald's didn't have bacon. It was all kinds of crazy shit.
Didn't have bacon.
It was some weird shit, man. It's always some weird shit. It was right next to like a Waffle House or something.
So, Abe, when you left LA on your trip,
we never got finished.
I'll be back.
On our 7 fucking episode. On our 7th fucking episode. So you leave LA, where do you go?
Let me see. Okay, yeah. So Comic-Con, that's what I was talking about. The Comic-Con stuff. So I would end up using LA as a hub, and I drove back and forth either to Comic-Con was only 1 weekend, but then Oceanside to see that same dude again. And then I went to North. Yo, I drove the 1. I was just talking about this with them, with Duke yesterday on the other podcast. Yo, I drove the 1.
Yeah.
I left 9 a.m. Santa Monica. Yo, I ain't make it to like San Fran till like 8:30, like 9 p.m.ish. But yo, around like 8 or 7:30, I started hauling ass because I was like, this ain't fun no more because it was getting dark.
Were you scared? Because you're literally driving on the edge of
So I wasn't scared, but when it got late, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. And similar to when I was driving Nevada, and I was like, grateful I was doing this at 9 in the morning and not like at 3 a.m. You know, I was like, right. It was starting to, the sun was dissipating, and I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Now I'm driving fast. You know, like this is crazy. It's not scary because I'm not driving fast, but it is crazy. Like, yo, like one turn and I can just drop this car into the Pacific Ocean or shit. Like this is crazy. This is yo. I parked the car. And it's just looking, yo, I parked the car and I don't know, I can't even tell you, but some mark on a Google map. Like, cause I just saw like there was a big edge, and you seem like you can park the car and just look at the Pacific Ocean. But there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's literally the edge of the world. And I was like, yo, this is something like, it's weird. Like, I'm not afraid of heights or nothing. I ain't seeking them either, but I have this attraction, where I like being on the edge. And I did the same thing in Puerto Rico, and I think it was a beach called Playa Sucia, Dirty Beach. And I'm at the edge too, and where I would just overlook, and it's kind of this weird feeling that comes over where it's just like, yo, with just 2 walks, like 2 more steps, I could just jump, you know. And I'm not suicidal, I'm not trying to die or nothing, but I don't know, it's just this thing where you're kind of overlooking the edge. And real quick thing, yo, in Austin, you ever played Borderlands?
Yeah.
All right, so do you know the robot in there?
I mean, I know of the robot, but yeah.
So I met the voice actor, right, in Austin. He lived there. He probably moved out by now, but I met him there. He's an amazing character in person. He's somebody you would need to get on the podcast, but he's also just too crazy, so he probably wouldn't do it. But I mean, I seen that dude in the clubs, man, and he told me some crazy stories about life and drugs and all kinds of shit. But because of him, I met the dude who wrote Jurassic World 1 and 2, and I guess if there's gonna be a 3. Did I tell you that guy that I met that guy?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you were sending me pictures and shit. Yeah.
So same thing in his house, man. I'm at the balcony and I'm like just looking at it, and it's just this crazy thing. Like I don't know, man. It's just feeling of like overlooking rooftops that I like, but it's just crazy on the Pacific Ocean because it's nothingness, you know. Like, and you could easily just jump. And the same thing, it's crazy how like there's other people there. Like, so I guess it's just like a cliff people like to look at. But it's just crazy how we all trust each other to not do that to each other, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like some of those turns are just crazy. But this is other thing too that I wish I just could describe it better, but I don't really know what I saw. But closer to NorCal as it's getting darker, there's this area like clearly the cars could park and it looked like you can do boat stuff. I don't know what was going on with the weather, man, but there was one little boat in the water and it was almost like the ocean is rising, like this cloud of darkness. And I don't know what this was, but I was like, there's no way in hell I'm stopping it. It's like Satan himself is coming to devour that boat.
Right.
It's just crazy sea stuff that probably makes sense with some type of science explanation, but it just looked so insane. It looked like this thing that just insane weathered stuff, you know? Like, I guess stuff like that is the cool part of California, even though, but it's a shame, like, the whole money rent thing, right? In any cool place, like,
yeah,
like
it's terrible.
You've heard me talk, like, I used to always want to live in LA. I don't feel that way no more. And to
Good.
be fair, the only reason I ever wanted to live there was because, and people talk about it even to this day, that it still works that way. Like, you know, like just the networking and you never know who you might meet there. But outside of that, you know, like, especially with the money and the way it just ruins everything, it's like, I don't really, you know, like, and then now that we're in this remote world, it's like, you know what? I'd rather just make it without you, you know, because unless you're specifically going to give me a job at Marvel, you know, right? Like, I really don't want to be there. Like, and then even when the day comes and I have too much money, I purposely rather just live like right next to you, like a Utah or some shit, and just still not give you any money, you know? Because my friend's family has a spot in Salt Lake that they be going skiing in, and apparently my friend says I need to visit that. You been there yet? I feel like you probably have.
I love Salt Lake.
It's dope.
If we're just talking about the city. Yeah. It's a dope ass city, man.
Outside looking in, it seemed like Austin-y. Is that true?
It depends on how you look at it.
I don't know. I'm only seeing it from afar, you know, like on fucking remote, no computers and shit.
So I mean, Salt Lake has all the mountains and all of that shit. So they have like way better wilderness than Texas has, like not even close. They have a weird vibe because it's super Mormon, but it's also super big city. So it's like you have this crazy conservative religion, but you have this crazy fucking city. And so you have those two things like butting heads. It's fucking cool, man. I love that city. But they also have the biggest indie film festival there is the Sundance is in fucking
Really? I knew it was in a wintry spot. Never really put it together. It's right there. It's right.
Yeah, it's in Salt Lake. So Salt Lake City has the biggest, and it happens during my birthday in January. So it's like, it's something I've always wanted to do. I've never been able to get up there on my birthday, but I will. It's something I'm going to do. I love that city, man. It's a good city.
So you know what's funny? Like, almost similar. It's like, I've done so much growth at the same time. Some of the same battles still happen. Like, I don't visit because, you know, money, you know, like, yeah, and it's just like, damn. At this point, though, it's my fault. Like, I just need to earn, you know, at this point. I'm gonna fast forward because it's probably many little stories, but I drive up to the one, and I'm gonna tell this story because it makes sense. For you and me and all of us. I'm in Union Square in San Francisco, right after I drove up to San Francisco. Which, by the way, I stayed in an Airbnb, and I'm staying with a couple who's kind of sharing a duplex, who both work in technology. They told me both as programmers.
Man.
And they're both Airbnb in the room I'm staying in and just staying in their room together because it costs so much money. And dude, they're one of the first. Usually I would run. That was my first year using Airbnb, but I would run into problems because I like to be me, so I like to arrive to places late. So I had to try to get there early so I could get my keys and then do whatever I wanted. But this was the only couple where it's like, you only pick up your keys after 9 p.m. And I was like, perfect. I was like, because they didn't get home till. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
And they were never there. They would leave at some insane time, like 7 to 8 a.m. They were both gone. So I really only talked to them for like a minute. But yeah, man, yeah, it's wild, man. It's like, it seemed like you got to work super hard. It's sad because you got to do like a real job, like in NorCal, just to live there.
Yeah.
But I'm in Union Square, and I'm on the phone with Leon. That's my friend. I'm on the phone with him, and some guy comes. He's walking around. I might have told you this story, but he's walking around. He's asking everybody for $1. And I'm talking to Leon about life. I've been calling him everywhere I go. I ended up in Hawaii on this trip, by the way. We're probably not going to get to that.
Yeah, no. I wanted to get to that, but I guess we're in San Francisco.
Yeah. Yo, this is how ignorant I was of travel. When I asked my friend to visit in Hawaii, I was like, should I bring my car? And she's like, dude, that takes like months to get your car over here. No, don't bring your car,
Yeah.
Also in LA, I got 2 parking tickets. I was averaging a parking ticket every, I think, 1.5 or 2.5 weeks. If I stayed there, I'd be broke. It'd just be
I think you just don't know what the fuck you're doing.
You can't read those signs. Have you seen those signs?
No, they're bullshit.
They're equations. They all look.
Fucking,
there's not one street.
The state is bullshit.
There's
the
not
entire
one,
state is bullshit.
I never had that problem in NorCal though, but in LA, every street has like 3 to 5 signs, and they all require equations. They're like, the first sign is like, look, you can't park here on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Bro,
the second sign is here.
You are from New York.
You don't need cars there. I've never driven in New York to this day.
That's true. That's true.
I've never driven in New York, yo.
That's true. But that should show you how bullshit Los Angeles is. It's fucking horseshit.
Oh,
I hate that goddamn place.
Look, if you want a counter to what I just showed. So LA was building up their train while I was there. This never happened to me ever in New York. Me and my friend, who was funny. It's the second story I told about him today. The other story was he was the first person to show me how to use Tinder. The stereotype. I've still never used Tinder to this day, but he was like, look, it's easy. And he shows me Tinder, and he brings up a picture of a girl's face, and then he just swipes right on all of them. He's like, yeah, eventually one of them. And then he said that's how you use Tinder.
Eventually shit's gonna hit, bro.
Yo, so he doesn't own a car at this point in LA. He's like, yeah, I just take the train. He happens to be fortunate. He's staying next to one of the 5 stations that this train goes to in LA. But yo, we're on the train. We took it from Hollywood, which, oh my gosh, Hollywood is the most ghetto-ish. I come from the Bronx. I come from South Bronx, and I was like, what is this? This place is horrific,
A dude from the Bronx calling Hollywood the most ghetto place on earth.
Because it's not at all what you expect. Yo, right. Again, so I didn't even finish the San Francisco story because I was pivoting with all this LA. But in LA, this was where the San Fran story was going to go. In LA, this guy with a book bag, in Hollywood, this guy with a book bag comes up to me. And he goes down the list, like, yo, man, like, I got weed. You want? Nah. Yo, I got X. You want? Nah. He just goes down the whole drug list. But dude, I shit you not. I'm not lying. He got to literally normal shit that I can buy. He got to like Tylenol and shit. And I was like, The fuck? Like, why I need that from you? Like, that's not even illegal and shit. I was like, why are you selling Tylenol and shit? He was selling those were like his last things, and then he left me alone. There was people like selling barbecue like on an actual grill. They didn't even have a food truck. They just had like a grill with like aluminum foil meat and everything. Like, I remember this shit. It's just crazy. Like, but it was just like a lot of people like, you know, like that you just probably don't want to be around because the wrong thing happened, a fight might break out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it was just a lot of that. I don't remember what else I was supposed to say about LA, so I'll just go to San Fran. I'm walking and I'm talking to Liam about Hawaii and stuff, and he asks everybody for $1, and then he looks at me, judges me like top to bottom, and he doesn't ask me for $1. He asked me something along the lines of like, yo man, you want a dime bag or something like that? I'm like, bro, yo, really? I was like, how am I dressed? That like he's like, yo, I better sell you this guy weed because he's not gonna give me $1 for free. I was just in a hoodie. I was like, I guess he just recognized, like, it's like, look, man, it's 2016. It's been a while since I lived in New York, but I guess I'm giving it all. You know what it is, too? I'm on the phone with Leon, and he's from New York. Sometimes when I'm talking to New York people, sometimes the New York come out, you know? That might have been it, too. That probably did. But, yo, I get off the phone with him, and to go back to the whole original theme of women, I see this girl who I believe, you know, if I were to see her now, like, you know, maybe I'm starting to temper my ways, right? But like at that time, I just thought like, yo, looks amazing, beautiful, whatever. And she's doing this weird stuff, almost some type of dancing with like a stick. There's no fire, but essentially like kind of like, you know, when you see people dance with the sticks of fire, right? Where it got fire on the edges, you know?
Yeah.
So she's doing that. And she has 2 friends. And again, yo, it's the same thing like the Hoover Dam story, right? I'm too scared to just talk a random conversation, but somehow I just joined this group of friends. And somehow I finagle my way into asking her and all of them, but her specifically about, you know, their goal in life, you know?
Yeah.
No Instagram video of that, but I don't remember how, but somehow she tells me about the 3 hobbies, and that's how it got to you eventually, you know? like
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you got that shit from a random girl in Hawaii?
No. Oh, it's Union Square. Sorry, it was Union Square. This was right after the guy tried to sell me weed because for $1. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So this is Union Square, yeah. And I was literally hanging around there because I was like, yo, like I don't live here. I have to talk to her, you know. And she was like a celloist. And she said that she played in the San Francisco Orchestra, and I was like, I'm always, like, literally, at that time in my life, the last girl I was crazy over was a celloist in San Antonio.
Was she telling you the truth, or?
I mean, you know, I don't know, but you know, why would she lie? You know, and so she tells me the 3 hobbies about money. Right, what is it? You tell me. You the one who follows money, so, exercise.
You piece of shit. One to make money, one to keep you in shape, and
yes.
One to keep you creative.
So I think the stuff she was doing there was like, yeah, so this is like my thing to keep in shape. And then she was like, I'm fortunate enough that I have hobbies that are both creative and give me money, and that's how the cellos part comes up. And I think she did some other art, like making necklaces or some type of shit that she would sell, you know? But yeah, I got it from her because, you know, I was too scared to do a normal random approach of asking a girl out, but I was not scared to find out what's her goal in life. Right. So yeah, man. That's how the 3 hobbies got passed down to you. Was because there was a very pretty redhead who I couldn't resist to have to talk to. So
that's fucking terrible. I would.
You're like, I renounced the 5 hobbies.
Yeah,
they will be deleted tomorrow.
The whole podcast is just done at this point.
Yeah. So that's how that happened. Um, Hawaii. I ended up in Hawaii, yo, because it's kind of weird, man. Like, I feel bad, like looking at some stuff, like, right? I can only know like how stuff is from my end, but the girl in Hawaii is a girl who, yo, like I thought that girl was beautiful from the first day I met her. But she was almost like a sitcom, right? Like I feel like Friends did this episode and maybe Seinfeld. She was always with somebody, like I've never known her single to this day.
Yeah.
Now she's married with kids. I've never known her single. It just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. But yeah, when she was here, so like, not that it makes it right or wrong, but like the way it worked for me, like it was always easy. Like, all right, well, she's taken. So like, it was kind of easier for me to be friends with those people than to be friends with the single person that I liked, But if they weren't single, it was like, oh well. So I guess I was friends with her, even though in my head I'm probably still taking, maybe more from that friendship, But yeah, she was like pretty good over here for me. Like given now that I can look back and see how ridiculous I was, like. But yo, when I went to LA, I think the original plan was she was gonna fly out over there and just hang out in LA, and I was like, that's wild because no one visits me. And still to some degree, that's kind of still true. And there's been attempts, and even from other women, there's been attempts, but they always fall. They always fall. They always fail in the last minute. But
yeah.
But then I'm like walking downtown LA, which another disappointment of if Hollywood wasn't bad enough. Downtown LA dies at like 5 p.m. I hear they're working on it and they're trying to make it a real downtown and it's different now, but this is 2016. Yo, that place became a dead zone around 5 p.m. And if we went there at night, I went there at night with the guy who showed me Tinder. He's trying, and he knew a One Pocket nightclub, and I guess that pocket was underground popping, quote unquote. But yo, like the rest of the surroundings were dead. Like downtown LA is dead. And honestly, being on that journey and going through San Francisco and all of that, and other towns and seeing Phoenix, I'm like, oh, New York changed my perception a lot. A lot of downtowns are dead. New York is not the norm. Who knew? Because I'm used to, in my head, I'm used to the cities being alive. But even seeing Vegas close, right, at night, I'm like, wow,
yeah.
New York, that's why they call it City That Never Sleeps, because apparently that's not normal. Like everything else is normal, But yeah, no, I decided like, hey man, like I've never been to Hawaii. Would it be cool if I go there and stay with you? And yeah, like that's how that happened. Unbeknownst to me, I probably shouldn't have been there, but she didn't like really sharing stuff with certain parts of her personal life. And at that time, I guess she was going through the transition of a divorce and also meeting what was about to be her husband. And because I was wondering, I was like, man, we'd be hanging out and we go places, and she showed me like Hawaii and stuff, but she would always just be texting, and I'm like, and I kind of did some of it on my own. I was like, I kind of just rather hang out by myself if you're just gonna be on the phone. But I didn't realize like she was in that honeymoon phase because she didn't tell me,
Right.
But yeah, Hawaii was pretty crazy. I walked through some neighborhoods that I probably shouldn't have walked through because I left. I got bored of Waikiki. Waikiki ain't for me,
Yeah.
I actually found the Street Fighter crew, the 808 crew in Hawaii. I actually found them, because the network was strong back in the day. And that was probably some of the most kind of normal fun I had in Hawaii because, it's just connecting through the games. And the same thing I said about America, about the poverty group. I also met some of the most poorest people, and like, I feel bad. Because one of those dudes who I only hung out for this guy for like 30 minutes to an hour, but he would kind of message me for maybe like 2 years, and now, Facebook's dead and I don't use it, but like, when you coming back? And obviously I still haven't to this day, so I feel bad, like, but it was,
I can imagine because they're like really poor.
I had my camera there too. I had my camera
poor.
there too. And maybe like, cause I'm talking the idea, cause I always like to talk ideas and it'd be cool, but it's hard to do everything. So I probably wanted to do like a little baby documentary on that, cause that would be dope. Like Hawaii Street Fighter people. Um,
Yeah.
and then he was a weird dude in general. He's the weird dude amongst the Street Fighter players because he was the guy who played the other games, the old games, the games that everybody's playing Street Fighter 5. He's like, yo, but have you played Street Fighter 2? You know, have you played like this 1992? Like he's that guy, you know. So he's the guy in the corner, and that's where we are. We're just playing in the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. But even then, you know, like to play the normal games, you had to like pay a fee. And again, like I'm like, even though I just flew to Hawaii, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not, like,
Right.
it's crazy, like just how we, I don't know, allow our mind to do that. There's a few other stories, but I don't like involving like her. But I feel like I probably rather not say them. But because it was just like just weird things that like maybe had I known everything going on, it probably would have been better. That is the last time I've seen her. Yo, but I walked to Waikiki. I walked from Waikiki to some place like where they host their Comic-Con because they were having their Comic-Con the next week. But yeah, I was walking around some neighborhoods that I probably shouldn't be walking on. And then I passed by this Goodwill and I see these empty streets. Who knows what time it is? 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And all of a sudden this Goodwill is packed. It's packed full of people. It's not open, but it's just people sleeping in front of the Goodwill. And only the Goodwill. And I don't know if they got some arrangement there where maybe they give them stuff in the day and that's why. But the Goodwill is like, might as well just be like their security guard task force. Like 20 to 30 people just sleeping outside of the Goodwill. And I didn't do it, but I felt like taking photos because I had my real camera there. Just because, like, you know, on some National Geographic shit, like, damn, this is kind of like some real shit, you know? It was one of the moments almost where I, like, you know, like, where you can feel like that, appreciate what you got, you know? Because I just saw all these people just there, you know? But yeah, like, that day, that was the end of my day where I think I spent like 18, 19 hours of that day, like, she lived in Chinatown at that point, and I just walked from Chinatown around the entire island. like, I just walked the entire day. I found the mall there so I could eat at the food court. I found this food trucky area, which is like where they were all making food, so I had some stuff there. I tried to meet them in Waikiki, but I saw the environment they were in, like my friend, and it was just some shitty ass bar, and I was like, nope. And I just left immediately. I was like, and I just kept walking around the island. People were big on Pokemon Go this year, so I saw like, you know, people who live there like with their laptops trying to hack Pokemon Go.
My God.
Yeah, it was I think one of the things I always remember there that I wish I was kind of more aware when I did meet her dude, it was like the last night. On the last thing, they picked me up from the Street Fighter place that I walked to from Waikiki, and I didn't realize it, but they all like drunk and fucked up, and I'm like, yo, I don't drink. Like, I wish you guys told me, because then I would have just drove the car, you know. And they're already freaking out because I think one friend they had, you know, people were drunk and having stupid. I guess one girl left and some dumbass bar drama happened, you know. But I didn't realize till halfway when we were driving home, like, oh man, everybody's fucking drunk here, you know? And this is stupid. Like, I could literally die. Or for some people that most of these people in this car, I don't care about, you know? like I don't even know, you know? Like, how did this happen? Like, how did this happen, you know? Overall, the Hawaii trip is dope, and I want to go back one day, but yeah, like, just maybe under some different circumstances. Like, but damn, I left my car in LAX with stuff in it and everything, like, because I ain't have no place to leave my gear and shit, so it's kind of trippy. That was I stayed overall, because I'm like just saying random shit at this point, I stayed on the road for 2.5 months. I was too scared to stay, but I got an offer from Red Bull to do some shit with Street Fighter in Houston. That was really more a free agent contract thing. But I kind of used it as an excuse to come back because at that point I was having so much fun that I was like, and I got connected with my teacher's old student, so we became friends. And yeah, it was a temptation to stay there, you know, to stay in LA. But again, it's like there's so much fear that really like how much money is enough money so I can get over it? Because yo, at that point I probably had 9,000 in my checking and 20,000 in savings, you know, or in stocks or something, you know. And in my head, that still wasn't enough, you know. Like, so I went back, you know.
No,
I don't have any of that no more. But yeah, like it's crazy. Like, you know, I could have been on a different trajectory. I could have gave all that money to California taxes, you know.
yeah, for sure, for real.
But yeah, from LA, I was sleeping on that dude's couch. And I was like, at some point I found out you live in Phoenix because I posted about Phoenix. And you're like, why you didn't stop by? I was like, I don't even know you live in Phoenix. So I went to Phoenix. And I was like, mad, please, like, yo, I get my own room in your spot. I was like, this is dope. This is dope.
Yes, sir.
I was also surprised to find out when you turn on when you turn on the cold water, it came hot. And I was like, the fuck is this? The fuck is this? I was like,
Phoenix,
this is crazy. I've never had that happen anywhere else still to this day. It was cool hanging out with y'all. But, you know, like, it reminded me of San Antonio. There was a Whataburger there. I was like, what the fuck is this? There was a Texas Roadhouse. We went to Texas Roadhouse. You remember that?
Yep.
I think on the last day.
We have both of them.
Yeah, on the last. We had Whataburger?
There's a Whataburger.
Oh, you have it.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, no, you do have it. I thought you meant we had it because I know we went to Texas Roadhouse. I don't think we went to Whataburger, though. I remember one time we went to Walmart and I got McDonald's and I ain't getting nothing because I was like, man, I ain't having McDonald's on my trip unless, like, it's breakfast and that's it. You know?
Nah. But we had the Chicago deep dish though.
Oh, we did. We went to some place. There was like nobody there, right? There was nobody there, right? Like when we went.
There was people there. Illuminati's. It's a Chicago deep dish place, but because there's so many people from Chicago living in Arizona, they moved
You were
a
telling me
fucking
about
chain
that, yeah.
place down there in Arizona.
Yeah. That's wild. Sorry about that. I had to type in this chat that WrestleMania is lagging. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon ladder match, and Big Daddy Diesel is on the side. Yo, on the sidelines, yo. Yo,
Jesus.
You might respect this. Like, do you remember Diesel? Big Daddy Diesel? Not before he's Kevin Nash. You remember Diesel?
Of course.
What I didn't remember, because I remember the song. He hates his music when he was champion, because it's a truck horn, and then it plays like this bluesy, corny shit. And I can see it. We romanticize some of this stuff, but I can see why they thought some of this shit was corny as they're doing it. But yo, Diesel's first theme music is a horror movie. It's the truck horn. It's the same truck horn. And then you just hear the truck, like the engine stalling, like just like in neutral, and it just keeps doing that forever. And I was like, yo, this guy is going to kill somebody right now. I was like, you cannot play that for that sounds like I want Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal to walk out. Like, that sounds insane, dude. Like I was like, I can't believe they allowed that. like I was like, it just sounds evil, and there's no music. It's just this truck horn and an engine, and that's it. What's also fascinating is somebody got paid for that, for this. But shit. Yo, so going back to again our theme of women and stuff. The last day, me and you, we at some like weird ass juice bar or some shit. You remember we went to some mall or something? I don't know what it was. It was like some juice or coffee spot, and you ordered this stuff, and I almost felt like ordering something because this girl, I just thought she looked amazing. And funny enough, she got off of work at that point, and then she walks out, so I run outside and I chase her just to tell her some stupid shit. I don't know if she looked good or whatever or something, but that was it. Because I was just trying to like force myself to have these conversations. What I should have asked her was her goal in life, and then we would have had a real conversation based on all this theme, you know. But
Yeah.
and then from there I go to El Paso, and then from El Paso I went to Austin, and then finally at some point I get to San Antonio. And this stories will follow that, but we've been going on forever, so we in the Joe Rogan mark. Once you hit 3 hours, that's the Joe Rogan mark. It's like the Mendoza line for podcasts, the Rogan mark. It's like
That is the fucking Rogan mark.
yeah, man. I was almost gonna act like, man, I said so much nonsense. I was gonna be like, yo, can I put this out on mine too, like a joint episode? It's so much nonsense in this one that I'm like, it should come out.
We might as well.
Yeah,
Might as fucking well.
I could send it to you, and then you can cut up the audio however you want, if you even do that. But I'm gonna just post that shit raw. It's just all three, just all. Like for me, I don't know.
I like it. Yeah.
Would you drop it for you? Like, are you gonna edit this at all or no?
I'll probably cut it up into 3 episodes.
That's what's up, baby. Yeah. See, you like that. I don't. That's good. That's good. Make it last. You know, you gotta juice them. Them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta juice it out just because it's been so hard for me to even put out episodes. So
yeah, man, make it work. Cut them up in 10-minute episodes, and you don't gotta make one for like 2 months, 3 months.
Right.
The Chronicles of the Boosh or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You should do mine too at some point too, because then I'll ask a bunch of other shit. It's rare for me to be on the other side, so it's just same ass shit. Anything else you wanted to touch on or something?
I mean, later, not now.
Real quick, do you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier yet at all?
I watched the first episode. What did you think?
I want to preface it by saying I do like it. That being said, it's gonna always be hard for me to really dislike Marvel things because they always lead to something bigger, right? So I'm almost grateful they do the boring shit now, so that when it's time for Infinity War, we get to business. You know. That being said, have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a superhero, and but that real life, you know, not the superhero part, right? Not the Falcon part, right? The struggles of going to a bank and not being able to get a loan. I was like,
right.
And on the other side, like the PTSD of being a superhero who's done some bad stuff with what's his name, Winter Soldier. I was just laughing. I was like, yo, this is hilarious. This show is about all the real life stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I can't get a loan,
like that shit, though.
and I'm depressed.
I like it. Yeah. I can't get a loan and I'm depressed, so I mean, I relate.
I mean, I feel that, and it's fine, and those are good things, but it's just funny, you know. It's just funny to hear it. It's just funny, but you know, I'm glad it overall still enjoyed. They're not trying to experiment the way WandaVision was. They're kind of giving you what you expect, you know. So it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, man, I don't know how do you end these things? I don't know how I end it, but how you end these things?
I normally make a dumb proclamation like Blade Moses is splitting the Red Sea.
There you go. There's the bars. Blade Moses splitting the Red Sea.
So follow us into Exodus.
Damn. The visual imagery.